vacations and incentives to earn extra money. I look forward to going to work every day.
Apply at MrElectric.com.
Hi, this is Charles Hanniger. Join me and Gordy Rush for the Tiger Zone presented by LaBerge Casino every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We'll follow the Ed Ogeron Show and take your phone calls about all things LSU football. The Tiger Zone, 8 p.m. Wednesdays on Eagle 98.1.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, your trusted stop for your automotive repairs, right now is hiring body and service technicians. Great pay, 401k with paid holidays and vacations. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, family owned and operated since 1977. Online, dgbauto.com.
Many people are injured and can't afford to get the treatment they need because insurance companies won't pay until a case is closed. I'm attorney Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
Offices in Baton Rouge.
104.5 WNXX Jackson, 104.9 KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour is brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
Minnesota, this is a bad football team. I don't get it when teams move on from guys, because Case Keenum had him in the mix, right? He was there.
NFC Championship.
You just stay with that. And Coach Zim, he really went out and got Kirk Cousins as if Kirk Cousins was Aaron Rodgers. I don't get what they look at. I just don't get it.
Mornings from 5 to 7 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Monday, October 26th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 82. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, St. Thomas More wide receiver Jack Bech joins the show at 7:15. LSU Executive Deputy Athletic Director Verge Ausberry joins at 7:30. We have our latest weekend winners at 8, and Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger stops by at 8:30. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Get inside the Bayou 4 chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Off and at it off the bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio in New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria. Online at 1045ESPN.com. On your smart speakers this morning. YouTube, remember on 1045 ESPN station. Subscribe, get notified for what's happening there. Powered by All-Star Toyota, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Coming to see you, Tommy Waggis, back in the service department. Ready for that 30,000-mile oil change. Monday's edition of Off the Bench, Jack Bech just got his LSU offer. He's on his way to St. Thomas More Lafayette. I asked him if he could come on at 7:40 this morning. He said he had a test. Go 7:15. 7:30, we'll hear from Verge Ausberry. 8 a.m., your weekend winners. 8:30, college football, Ross Dellinger. LSU's freshman quarterback looks legit. Sean Payton, Joe Brady. Saints prevailed. Drew Brees looked retro yesterday inside the Dome. Tons to get to on Off the Bench. Hop inside of the Bayou Ford chat app. That's over on the YouTube station if you're watching at 104.5 ESPN. Good weekend, big fella.
Yeah, it was a really good weekend. It was a great party Friday night. I think I probably stayed hungover feeling till last night. Congrats to you. Callie killed it. Great job, Callie. Just an excellent 40th birthday party celebration. And then an excellent weekend of football, man. LSU stabilizes in the exact way that they need to. Also very exciting in a lot of ways. The Saints continue to find ways to win the game no matter what. How about Marcus Davenport with a walk-off sack, basically? Got to be hyped seeing Davenport continue to make an impact since he returned. And then, coming up in the OT hour today, of course, we'll do my T-Bob Game Notes section where I chopped up that film again for about 4 hours last night, and I will give you my full rundown of just basically the stream of consciousness notes that I take as I'm doing that.
TJ Finley, calm, cool young fella, on Saturday night as we give you your headlines here on this Monday, October 26th, presented by Barbecue Guys.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
T-Bob mentioned Marcus Davenport's walk-off sack, and the Saints had to have it as Carolina teed up a 65-yard field goal attempt that just went 64 and a half yards. It barely missed yesterday, and the Saints prevailed 27-24 in front of 3,000 fans inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome on Sunday. Drew Brees threw for 287 yards and 2 scores, becoming the first player in NFL history to complete 7,000 passes. Here was Sean Payton yesterday post-game talking about the touchdown before half and what it meant for the momentum.
Obviously, you'd have been happy if it was just a field goal. We were right at the cusp there with 5 seconds, with the possible end zone play, and we had leverage outside, inside. We had inside leverage. Drew did a great job of finding Deontay, and I agree with you. That probably was a game-winning drive that we just didn't know it at the time.
Saints were terrific on third down on Sunday, converting 12 of 14 attempts, and were successful in the red zone as they got there 4 times and were able to come away with points, 3 of them. Here was Peyton talking about the success in both areas.
I wouldn't have guessed we went 12 of 14. We had a few long yardage situations. I knew we didn't punt, and there were a couple red zone sequences. Obviously, the penalty on the touchdown pass to Marquez. I don't see that. That's too bad. So we had to settle for a field goal. And look, there'll be some things I'm sure we look at we can improve on.
Yeah, Marquez Callaway was incredible. The undrafted receiver out of Tennessee. Wish that he would have gotten that touchdown. It was a phantom holding call. But to me, that drive, you talk about the drive right before the end of the first half, that 2-minute drive, that was 2-minute clinic tape. It was perfection. I can't help but think about Jeff Duncan's book, Peyton and Breeze, because in that book, the opening preface is all about the 2-minute drill and how Drew Brees runs it and how he calls the plays himself and just all the mental things that he is accounting for and processing so quickly as that clock is running. And one of the best play calls I saw, and it's just, you could only do this if you're a master who just has full trust in your offense. But the play before the touchdown, remember, they have no timeouts. And what did they do? They ran a screen to Alvin Kamara. And it might have been third down at that time. But, like, who with no timeouts and 20 seconds on the clock runs a screen and feels comfortable getting tackled in the middle of the field and getting down and spiking it? The Saints did, and they still left themselves just enough time to go for that touchdown attempt. So, I mean, it was just absolute perfection from Breeze, and what it means now is you move to 4-2, and watch out, because when this team gets fully healthy and Mike Thomas gets back, it's going to be dangerous.
Ground game yesterday working. Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray combined for 130 yards while averaging 5.2 yards per carry. Marquez Callaway, who T-Bob said had a big day, 8 catches for 75 yards for the undrafted rookie out of Tennessee. LSU over the weekend remains unranked after a win versus South Carolina, 52-24. True freshman quarterback TJ Finley threw for 265 yards and 2 scores, while running back Tyrion Davis-Price ran for 135. The Tigers will face unranked Auburn on Saturday at 2:30 on CBS. This is the first time this matchup has featured a pair of unranked opponents since 1999. That's the day that Cole Kublik and the rest of the Eagles fired up cigars inside Tiger Stadium. Here is TJ Finley about his performance and the nerves going into his first college start.
I entered this contest really relaxed. My quarterback crew did an amazing job supporting me throughout the week. Coach Steve Ensminger was amazing, and prepping me for this game. A lot of preparation went into this game. Coach Russ Callaway did an amazing job preparing me for the blitzes, the pressures, things of that nature. So I would say I didn't have many pregame jitters, but if I did, it was very quick.
Yeah, that's probably the most impressive part from Finley is just how unflappable he looked in that game. Really offensively, though, it was just a perfect game, top to bottom. First off, the game plan by Ensminger and the coaches for this specific game was spectacular. More so, I think LSU has now proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that it's not just about getting a great grad transfer quarterback. You can develop a guy who's been there a long time, either under a previous regime, and you can recruit and develop new, not good, but great quarterback play. And so shout out to Coach Ensminger. But probably if we're talking about Finley's confidence, the sequence that stands out to most to me on the entire night was that first 4th and 1 on that, which first off, the opening drive, we'll break it down later, but to come out and go 16 plays, 75 yards, your first ever drive in college is just, it's beautiful. Play calling was perfect. But 4th and 1, they sneak it. He gets to 4th down, which is the main part, but that's not the part I care about. He then gets spiked by about 5 South Carolina players into the ground. Maximum disrespect. What does he do? He gets up talking trash. He straight up punks one dude who's about half his size. He kind of hit him with like get out of here, little boy type thing. And then as he's looking over to the sideline to get the next call, he hit the sideline with a little flex. And you got to remember, this is an 18-year-old on his first ever college football drive. That's someone who is feeling supremely confident. And then, of course, the drive ends with him scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, impressive is an understatement. We'll talk all about it coming up here on Off the Bench. NFL scores from yesterday with the LSU output. Lions beat the Falcons 23-22. Russell Gage had 6 grabs for 54 yards. Deion Jones, 4 tackles, a sack, and 2 tackles for loss. The Browns beat the Bengals 37-34. Big day for Joey Burrow as he connected on 35 of 47 passes for 406 yards. 3 touchdowns. He did throw a pick. He was sacked 4 times. He also had 6 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. Jarvis Landry had 5 grabs for 47 yards. He also completed a pass for 19 yards, had 2 rushes for 4 yards. Looks like Odell Beckham Jr. could be dealing with a major knee injury, as yesterday on the first play of the game off of an interception, his knee got caught in the turf. We'll wait to see what the diagnosis is. The Pittsburgh Steelers remain unbeaten as they go into Tennessee and take down the undefeated Titans 27-24. Stephen Gostkowski, another missed field goal at the gun. A future Hall of Fame place kicker is struggling in Tennessee. Christian Fulton had 3 tackles. The Buffalo Bills beat the Jets 18-10. Trey White had 4 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. Washington beat Dallas 25-3. The Cowboys are horrible. Packers beat the Texans 35-20. The Bucks beat Las Vegas 45-20. Leonard Fournette had 11 carries for 50 yards. He also had 6 catches for 47 yards. Devin White looked he looked like a robot. I mean, like he looked like the Predator yesterday running around out there. As he had 11 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. David Carr thought he could beat him to the sticks on a 4th and 1. Devin White closed on him and knocked him out of bounds right in front of Foster Moreau. It's one of the fantastic highlights of Sunday. San Francisco.
I know you can't. It's impossible for these current LSU linebackers to emulate Devin White because his physical skill set is out of control. But at least stylistically, they need to be turning on this Devin White film and looking at the aggression that a linebacker needs to play with. We'll get to it, but right now one of the biggest issues with this LSU defense is linebacker passivity. Like, you got to be aggressive. You have to dictate to the offense sometimes. And if you watched Devin White yesterday, that's all he did.
San Francisco beat New England 33-6. The Chargers beat Jacksonville 39-36. DJ Chark had a catch for 26 yards. Caleb on Chassel had 1 stop. Arizona beat Seattle last night 37-34. Ethan Posick and Damian Lewis opened up holes for a 200-yard rushing attack for Seattle. Patrick Peterson had 4 stops and 1 interception. Tonight's the Bears and Rams on Monday Night Football. Tampa Bay, we mentioned they beat down Las Vegas yesterday 45-20. News over the weekend is that they've come to terms with Antonio Brown, wide receiver, will be coming into Tampa Bay. Brown's deal is expected to sign today. Sources told Adam Schefter over at ESPN that they reached an agreement on a 1-year deal. He still has to go through the COVID-19 protocols before he can join the team, but is likely to make his Buccaneers debut in Week 9 versus the New Orleans Saints. That'll be on November 8th. He has to complete that 8-game suspension for multiple violations of the NFL's personal conduct policy.
Yeah, as if they didn't have enough weapons already, right? This is a bit like the Chiefs getting to add Le'Veon Bell to their arsenal. And this comes at a time with Gronk seems to be back in football shape, and him and Brady are clicking again. Brady seems as good as ever. The Mike Evans and Chris Godwin relationships there. Now you got Antonio Brown, who, don't forget, he's played with. He had a very good, how many games did he get with the Patriots? 1 or 2? He had 1, but he had like over 100 yards and like 7 or 8 catches. Like Tom Brady and Antonio Brown already have that timing down as well. They have a bit of a shared history. So this is pretty disappointing in my opinion if you're a Saints fan.
Major League Baseball World Series last night. The Dodgers took Game 5 Sunday night over Tampa Bay and now lead the series 3-2. Clayton Kershaw went 5 2/3 innings, struck out 6, gave up 2 earned runs. Kershaw now has thrown 30 2/3 innings in these playoffs, allowed 23 hits, walked 5, and struck out 37, and has won 4 games in this playoff run for the Dodgers. Jock Peterson and Max Muncy both went yard for LA. Game 6 is Tuesday evening. Those are your headlines. What's trending here on Off the Bench. We'll jump right into it. Jack Besh got a LSU offer over the weekend. We'll dial up to him next year on OTB as he makes his way into class. We'll get to TJ Finley and the LSU performance. Verge Alsbury will stop by here in 15 minutes. Weekend winners, 8 o'clock this morning. If you want to get in weekend winners, remember hashtag weekend winners inside the Bayou Ford chat app. Give us who it is, and we'll announce them at 8 a.m. this morning. OTB rolling on.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills. Blaze Grills is headquartered in Baton Rouge. Shop on the web at barbecueguys.com. Off the Bench with Jordy Culotta and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Central Plumbing Company brings you OTB Daily here. Remember, 925-8552. You can find them online at centralplumbing.org. Get in touch with Central Plumbing Company if you're looking for residential or commercial plumbing services. They can help you out with that. 925-8552 or online at centralplumbing.org.
Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org for all your plumbing needs. Your one-stop plumbing shop. Doesn't matter what the problem is. They've seen it all. Therefore, they can fix it all, right? They've been at it for over 4 decades, y'all. Everybody's licensed, bond insured. You can trust who's coming into your home. Flat rate pricing means no surprise or hidden fees. The warranty on their work gives you peace of mind after it's done, a month on service work, up to a year on new installations. And look, whether it is something like just getting a drain that won't drain figured out or something more extreme like getting an entire toilet placed. I've done it all with Central Plumbing, and the common denominator is that it's always that it's great work. I don't have to lift a finger, and my problems get solved. Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we will get to reaction from the football weekend as it was a good one here in South Louisiana. LSU dominated South Carolina inside Tiger Stadium on Saturday night. The New Orleans Saints were able to beat NFC South rival Carolina yesterday afternoon inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We'll get to it. We got your weekend winners coming up here at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. A weekend winner that we have on the list is the top wide receiver in the state of Louisiana, especially if you're looking at the numbers. A season ago, Jack Besh was the leading wide receiver in the state as he amassed 1,668 yards that season and is a highlight machine, man. If you've seen the start to his senior season, St. Thomas More came over here to Baton Rouge a couple of weeks ago and played in an instant classic versus Catholic High, and Besh was the best player on the field. On Friday morning, he picked up an LSU offer, and then on Friday night, the Cougars took care of Westgate, and he's kind enough to join us here to start off this morning's Off the Bench. Good morning, Jack. Congratulations, man. How are you?
Man, thank you so much. I've been great. You?
We've been good, man. Tell us a little bit about your weekend. I know that this is something that you have been working hard towards, an LSU offer. Right now, we didn't mention you're a Vanderbilt commit. Can you just tell us what that offer meant to you?
Yeah, it was just great to finally get the recognition. It's a childhood dream coming true. Walker Howard, he's one of my best friends. He means the world to me. We've talked a lot about trying to go play college ball somewhere. It just meant a lot to my family. My uncles played there. Having the chance to be able to continue the legacy is a really cool feeling to have.
Yeah, Brett Besh and Blaine Besh both have lettered and played at LSU football, and here comes Jack Besh. And we mentioned that you're committed to Vanderbilt. A lot of things in recruiting services, if you watch, since LSU has extended the offer, many anticipate maybe your thoughts and feelings to change about the next level. Do you anticipate that, and how do you figure on handling that?
Yeah, I'm just going to put the ball in God's court. What he wants to do is going to happen. I'm going to take it day by day. A lot of thought and prayers going to go into it, talking to my family. I'm not even close really to making a decision about anything. I'm just going to take it day by day.
Can you take us to Friday or take us through the recruiting process? How has LSU been present in it? Who's been the coaches, and kind of how did Friday happen with the offer?
Yeah, so first I talked to Coach Falk. I got on the phone with him, talked to him for a little bit. And then I got on the phone with Coach Mickey Joseph, the receivers coach. He was just telling me how I looked pretty polished. My film looked really good. They've been watching it a lot. Then I got on the phone with Coach O. He just told me that the type of talent he needs to keep in Louisiana, and that he would like to offer me a scholarship, and that he wants to keep me home in the purple and gold.
Were you tempted to commit on spot?
I was not, no, sir. It was just kind of not a quick talk, but it was kind of that. Yes, sir, thank you. talked a couple more of the coaches. And then, they had a big game to prepare for. I talked to a couple coaches yesterday. And so, I don't know, but it's going to be just a lot of thought coming into this decision. But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Jack
No,
Best,
you're good, you're good.
Jack Best joining us here, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. You guys are having a great senior season, man. You are, at least with St. Thomas More. Walker Howard is an LSU commit. He's off to a stellar start to his junior season. I think I saw 22 touchdowns, no interceptions for the junior quarterback. You guys keep it up. Congratulations on the offer. Have a great day at school, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You got it. There he is, Jack Best checking in from St. Thomas More Lafayette as he picked up the offer over the weekend. He mentioned that Coach O and LSU had a big game to get ready for, and South Carolina was in town. Will Muschamp and the Gamecocks and the Tigers took care of business in front of a not as many as they saw against Mississippi State for the live crowd, but the Tigers were able to take care of business 52-24, and everybody is talking about TJ Finley's performance, the starting quarterback for LSU, true freshman out of Ponchatoula, threw for 265 yards. He threw for 2 scores. He had an interception, but more impressive was his ability to just stay calm, man. How cool he was in the pocket. On the second drive of the game, he stepped up, stood tall, and hit Jeray Jenkins on a bullet across the middle. When he stands up straight in the pocket and he delivers the football, it's a very simple flick of the wrist when the ball comes out of his hand. He was very impressive in his college debut, to say the very least, on Saturday night.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Really, the entire LSU team was fantastic. We talked about the team, that this was, I called this a final stand for the LSU defense, right? And if you couldn't get it right this week and have some success, then you wouldn't have any for the rest of the season. Now, there are still a lot of mistakes and a lot of things to be cleaned up defensively, and certainly you will face teams that will stress you in ways that South Carolina did not. But you did enough, and you showed a lot of improvement, and a lot of the remaining issues I believe to be fixable. But we'll get to that. I mean, you start with the offense because it was a perfect offensive performance. Like I said, offensive line dominated the entire night. TJ Finley, excellent just in everything that you asked him to do. The running game, the amount of pressure that the running game from Ty Davis-Price and John Emery was able to alleviate off of Finley's shoulders was also fantastic. So really, I mean, that's where I started, with this offense as a whole. And then you also have to give credit to the offensive staff and Steve Ensminger. Everybody tries to continue to maybe not fully buy into Steve Ensminger, but how can you not consider him at the fore of offensive minds when it comes to college? I mean, just from an offensive coordinator standpoint, look at what he's done. Look at the numbers that Miles put up, despite that being a new receiver. And now you look at what a true freshman quarterback that you recruited and developed over the past few months, what he did in his first ever start against the South Carolina defense that was considered to be a pretty good defense coming into this game. And having won 2 games in a row, and really the first drive is probably just the best way to start, because that was perfectly called and perfectly executed by that LSU offense. I mean, it is borderline erotic. It is offense clinic tape. When you look at how they marched down on that 16-play drive, a great mixture of first down runs, and Finley it seems like they really did tailor this game plan to exactly where Finley felt most comfortable.
No question.
Like in the RPO game, it seems like he's been doing this since high school, I would imagine. He just looks so smooth in making those reads and pulling it when he has to. So knowing your player's strengths, customizing that vertical slice of the playbook, and then applying it. Because remember, the first drive is where you're scripting out, okay, like this should go well, right? That's where you always, it's something that Sean Payton's incredible at the NFL level, and Steve Ensminger and the crew killed it on this first drive. And then it ends with you going 16 plays, 75 yards, and taking half of the first quarter off the clock, and with your true freshman scoring a touchdown. So fantastic all around offensively. LSU will not just have a good offense now, but for years to come. I mean, think about this. How about the young cats that you're seeing out there? I love what Brody Miller texted me during the game. He said, this was a big trust the process game. Just look at all the young people shining out, right? Beej and Tej, of course, B.J. Ojolari, TJ Finley. You had Eli Ricks with a pick six. I mean, the young kids making plays. Keyshawn Butte had nice hits. Corey Moore got involved a couple of times. Like, yes, when you look defensively, there's still a lot to clean up, and there are still going to be struggles throughout the season. And I don't know how good this season will be because that youth means volatility. Like, they're not going to be this consistently good this season, but the future, the longer-term future, still remains incredibly bright at LSU, and you can now just bank on the fact that you're going to get not good, but great quarterback play throughout as long as Steve Ensminger and company are in charge of this offense.
How much stock did Ed Ingram improve on Saturday night just by the fall off of him being out of the lineup against Missouri to returning on Saturday against South Carolina and the improvement that the offensive line and the rushing attack that LSU experienced? 54 attempts for LSU on the ground on Saturday night for 276 yards of production. That will take the pressure off of a new, young starting quarterback with the ability to trust the ball and run the ball behind a dominant offensive line. And Ed Ingram was the face of that unit on Saturday night. So shout out to Ingram and the offensive line for the way that they played, 52-24. But, yeah, the offense looked spectacular. A lot of new faces all over the field.
And something to watch going forward, South Carolina seemed very content to rush for and drop guys into coverage and just trust that the freshmen wouldn't be able to make the right reads, make the right decisions, or maybe make the throws. And I'm sure they thought that they could get home as well, given some of the O-line struggles LSU's had this season, and they did neither. They never pressured Finley, and Finley picked them apart standing tall in the pocket back there. I mean, that's one of the craziest things about Finley's game is beyond just the intangible stuff, which was maybe the best part, the fact that as an 18-year-old, even with that vertical slice of playbook, that he really only made one bad decision the entire night. One mistake was wild.
The interception?
Yeah.
Well, Rohan said on Whiskey and Wine that it could have been the receiver's fault because he threw it back shoulder.
Yeah, no, it definitely could have been. I guess I'm just thinking back to a Booger McFarland tweet where he mentioned just that. It's like, really, I mean, that was just the only mistake.
Yeah.
It was the only mistake the cat made.
And even more impressive with that was he makes the mistake and he forgets about it. It doesn't touch him.
What you have to have cornerback and quarterback, really any. I mean, the football golden rule for almost any position is one snap and clear. You just got to move on. We'll get into the Finley Miles stuff. I mean, you obviously first, you just want to celebrate the game that was before you get into that nonsense, but we do have to address it. I would just say this. Look at the numbers Miles picked up. Look how good he played. And now imagine him getting that run support. Imagine having a defense that actually gets some stops. Yeah, and then imagine what a game would look like with Miles quarterback. I agree with those statements after the game where there's not a quarterback controversy yet, but that doesn't take anything away from what TJ Finley did, and he's going to continue to be the guy here in the immediate future.
Burge Allsbury next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here by Go Roof, online at GEAUXroof.com. Remember, you can get in touch with the crew this morning for a free professional estimate, both for a commercial or residential roof. If you need repairs over the weekend, you need a roof repair, get in touch with Go Roof, 927-8300. Remember, over at Go Roof, you can take comfort. Go Roof is a locally owned and operated company right here in Baton Rouge, 225 area code 927-8300, or online at GEAUXroof.com.
Yeah, another thing, I mean, on that pick, I forgot. I mean, he's the one that made the tackle to save the pick six as well. Underrated TJ Finley play. Underrated roofing play is Go Roof. Go to Go Roof, 927-8300. Free professional estimate, 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So you figure out exactly what you stand, they come and fix it, and then you have peace of mind afterwards. Jordy, what do you get when you work with Go Roof?
A beautiful new roof every single time.
That's right, roofs.
Football is back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the Los Angeles Rams host the Chicago Bears. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. WCK is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank in
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, weekend winners coming up here in about 24 minutes on OTB. Still have an opportunity to jump inside the Bayou Ford chat app if you want to leave your weekend winner. We'll get it read here at 8 a.m. as Verge Alsbury joins us every Monday morning, a part of our Monday recap here. Ross Dellinger will stop by in an hour, talk about the college football weekend. Saw our first look at the Big Ten. We'll talk to Dellinger about it coming up here. But LSU back in Tiger Stadium, and their executive deputy director of athletics, Verge Alsbury, is a Monday staple here with us. Compliments of Capital Partners. CapitalPartnersFirm.com is where you can find them if you're looking for government representation. Verge, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jordy. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. The LSU freshman class was on display Saturday, Verge, and it was headlined by the quarterback T.J. Finley. But the first-year guys came in and made an instant impact in LSU's second win of the season. What'd you take away from it?
We were just talking about that. So many freshmen played so well for us. Look at the wide receiver, the combinations he threw to 6 times were freshmen.
Yep.
You look at Jalori, the outside linebacker, number 8, had 3 sacks, made big plays. Look at Ricks caught an interception back for a touchdown. You look throughout the field, how many young guys we had playing for us. And, T.J. Finley speaks for itself. We talked about how well this young man had done coming in, came in early in the spring and before COVID, and what he's done since. He's got his body in shape. He's performed well, how he's thrown the ball well. And we see this every day in practice. And we're just like, wow, this kid is, the ratings, when you looked at him in high school, and, people talked about him then to what he is now. I mean, it's 2 different players. And we were so impressed with him Saturday night.
For as close as they say the competition was, and by all accounts, this thing was pretty neck and neck. One day it was Johnson, one day it was Finley. you guys got to feel pretty secure on the future of the quarterback spot.
Yeah, yes, both of them are very, very good players. And look, I've seen Mac Johnson play also, and I saw him play in high school, in fact. And very impressive. Both big guys too. Both guys range 6'4" to 6'5". Both have strong arms. Both have different qualities and good qualities. Max could really run the ball, and TJ gives you that also. He's a guy who could move down the field and keep the ball moving down the field. The thing I see with both of those young men, they're really calm in the huddle. They're not taking any chances, not getting rattled, and they keep everybody else calm. And I watched TJ walking up and down the sideline, getting the guys fired up and in the game. And that's what you want to see with both he and Max. I think that's what you have with those guys.
Yeah, and well, so now not only do you have talent at that position, but you have a coaching staff that has proven that they can develop and get the best out of that position. I mean, great quarterback play out of LSU. Seems like it's here to stay. What about after the game, though, Virgin? I see a lot of people were talking about this at the chat earlier in the show, but as impressive as Finley was during the game, really his post-game interview was spectacular. You normally don't get to talk to freshmen. Not only did he get put in front of the media, but he just answered perfectly, right? He threw everything back to the team, back to the staff, back to everybody who got him ready. I think a lot of people came away even more impressed with him watching how he handled that spotlight.
He's a very intelligent young man. He comes from a great family. His mother's a pharmacist in Ponchatoula. He's been groomed. He's been trained well, and a good family, good people, and he's very intelligent. I've been with him many times. His academics, everything he does as a leader, and that's what you want those positions. He and Max, both of them. As freshmen, those guys are going to be leaders of this program. And that's not to knock anybody else who plays that position, but that's how we develop our guys. That's what we want to see. So when we're talking, Coach O emphasizes all the time, it's always about the team, what we do as a team, not as an individual. This is a big game for us. You talked about it earlier. I knew South Carolina was going to come out and trying to run the ball and throw the ball well, and South Carolina has a good defense. South Carolina probably has some of the best skilled people in the SEC. So we figured it's going to be a much tougher game. And to come out and do what we did to a very good football team, a team that played well. They came off a big win on Auburn the week before, and to win the game, that was a must-win for us.
Yeah, I think it was, Verge. And for the defense, I think I was kind of calling it a final stand. Because if you couldn't get it right this week with 2 weeks with an offense that I think you matched up pretty well with, then it was never going to happen. And the defense was much better. And you know this, but I've been highly critical of Coach Pelini thus far. The mistakes in this game, I don't think fall at his feet. I saw a system that was simplified, that didn't seem to be a lot of confusion. There's just some base fundamental stuff that's got to get fixed. I mean, Verge, come on. Who's gonna keep contain? Nobody wants to set the edge. Nobody's trusting each other to have their gap. They keep diving inside, and they're giving up all these bounce runs.
I get so many. In this game, I want to just watch the defense and watch up front and just see what we're doing on defense. And I know talk to Bo, he simplified it. And, people, I get the emails and the texts and everything else. Bo Pelini. And after a while, you got to look at it and say, okay, is it coaching or is it the players? And we don't put it on the players, but we have to get better. And I think this comes with recruiting. I think people were, assuming we have all these great players on defense, and we're very average. I watch this up front. We do not get off of blocks. And I'm just saying, I know it's a negative, but we don't get off of blocks. We don't beat nobody at the line of scrimmage. We extend. We play on the line of scrimmage. We don't get off the blocks and make plays. We don't make plays. Safeties coming downhill making plays. We don't do it. Gap responsibility. The linebackers and safeties. We're never on the same page. And that's just players making plays. Either you can make the play, you can't make the play. I mean, it's like geometry. It's angles, and we don't take great angles. Safeties come down, they jump inside. Linebackers jump in the wrong hole.
Yeah.
That's just players. So we got to recruit better on the defense side of the ball and get players who can play and play those positions and smart guys who can play. This is the first time LSU doesn't have premier safety on our defense, and we got to get back to that. And I think Coach O, we're going to recruit those kind of guys and get back to where we need to be on defense. But this is not the typical LSU defense, and I don't care who's the defensive coordinator. And Booker McFarland and all the guys will tell you the same thing. It's not all about the coaching. I mean, I don't know how much easier you could put a scheme together.
Yeah.
South Carolina didn't run anything fancy. They ran just a toss. It was just a toss. You got to contain the toss. You got to kick it back to your inside people. You got to close the gap responsibility. It can't be double containment, those type of things. I mean, you just got to sit up there and you got to play the toss inside out, make the play.
Whoo!
Yeah, it
Verge
does.
Ellsbury on a Monday, baby.
It does.
I'm
It does.
I'm a defensive player.
I
I
love
get fired up on defense. I just don't like to see people. You got to beat people. So
Yeah.
defense, you got to be physical. You got to have a little violence in you. You got to get off the blocks. You got to beat the people at the line of scrimmage. And we just don't attack the line of scrimmage, not on defense.
Yeah, I don't know, Verge. My kind of one of the things that I keep going back to me, it sometimes looks like a lot of guys who have been playing in a 2-gap read scheme, right, which is more along the lines of the 3-4 was versus the 4-3, where you got to trust your teammate, you got to hold down your gap, and you got to be more aggressive. The good thing is, I do think these problems are fixable with time. We'll see. But let's talk about one of the highlights on defense, and that was B.J. Ojulari. I mean, the interior may be struggling to make those plays, but on the edge, you got a few guys making them. But Ojulari leading the way. I mean, what's the potential for this cat? He's only 18 years old.
When you look at him as a freshman, when you look at this young man, you look at him like, wow, he's a sophomore, junior. Just his body, the structure of his body. A very good football player. He'll be one of the best defensive ends to come out of here. That first step he has is so quick. He could retrace himself. I watch him on the field. That's what I did this weekend. I just watched the defense. I wanted to see who's playing, who can't play, who gives us what we need to do to win. I mean, number 8 is very special. Number 11 on the side, very special. We are great on the outside defensive end position. And those kids, we're working on. Coach has been working with those guys on containment. We talked about it earlier. But, just a special football player, those two guys. Ricks is a special football player. We have a lot of promising freshmen out there playing. Young guys, great football players for us.
Verge, one thing that may be overlooked, and it usually is in a storyline that is consistent with him in it, is Coach Steve Ensminger and getting this quarterback and TJ Finley prepared to play on Saturday. And one of the things that I didn't know is that LSU has started a true freshman quarterback 8 times, and Ensminger was the first in the mid-'70s to do that. Can you just talk about how good of a coach Ensminger is on staff and how much he helped TJ from the mental preparation last week get prepared for Saturday's start?
People don't realize Steve Ensminger has been around football a long time. A lot of football, a lot of great football coaches, a lot of great teams he's coached. Steve comes in early. He comes in at 3 o'clock in the morning and stays at 11 at night. And he studies the game. He's a student of the game. And to get those young men to play, y'all know Steve. Steve's not a rah-rah guy. He's not going to get all uptight. He's not going to make the players uptight. He's going to go out there and tell you, look, this is what you got to do. This is your assignment, and boom, let's hit it and go with it. And that's Steve. As calm as he is, that translates to the quarterback. And that's what you want as a quarterback. You don't want a quarterback to be all emotional and the first big play, the first big hit. And that's what you want to see, especially with freshmen out there. I mean, you have a freshman out there playing against a very good defensive coach, Will Muschamp and his staff, and good players. And you'll see, how he's going to react to his first hit, his first shot. The offensive line, let's give the offensive line credit.
Yes,
fellas.
they were dominant. Well. They were dominant. Everybody.
They're dominant. And T-Bob, you like to see offensive line play like that. He didn't get sacked. I mean, the rushing game was there. 3 rushing touchdowns. We had holes. This is like the offensive line we've had the past few years.
Yeah, and Ed Ingram's return was obviously, I think, the one of the main aspects of that. But I was really pleasantly surprised when I went back and watched the film. It wasn't just Ingram; it was down the line. I felt like Chasen Hines. I finally saw the Chasen Hines that I thought I was going to see when I saw that potential when he got thrown into the mix against Auburn years ago. So this is an offensive line that definitely seems to be coming along.
Correct. We play well everywhere. Trey Palmer. Let's talk about it. That's the first kickoff return since 1981 in Tiger Stadium.
That's the first one ever since I've been on this earth. It's the first one ever. Think about that. That's crazy.
So, glad to see him have success. He's a great talent, and just keep him putting him into the game on the special teams and his receiver part of it. So this is the kind of game you want. We wanted to get back against a good football team, South Carolina. We have a big game coming up with Auburn on the road, and we'll see how we do there.
Verge, great Monday recap. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Johnny.
Verge Ellsbury, LSU Executive Deputy Director of Athletics. That's brought to you by Capital Partners Firm. If you need government representation, doesn't matter if you're an individual, a business, or a government agency, remember Capital Partners Firm online, capitalpartnersfirm.com. My man, Verge Ellsbury, spitting the truth on a Monday morning. We'll close at hour 1 next.
Off the Bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
AccuTemp, AccuTempBR.com. Remember, you can get in touch with them this morning for that full service heating and cooling system. Whether it's service, you need one installed. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. Remember, got the brand new AC and heater installed from AccuTemp. last week. It's awesome, man. AccuTempBR.com. Halftime of football games. Remember, always running that special over at AccuTemp. All you got to do is text in the number to 31996 halftime, and you can receive half off of your detail of your AC or your heater online at AccuTempBR.com.
Yeah, a little Tiger tune-up. Get your home ready. Danny did a great job in the fan cave, some live production, leaving it up there so everybody knows. But again, during halftime, to 31996. And really just look, anytime you need any of the AC, HVAC, anything like that, why would you go anywhere else? Look at AccuTempBR.com. Over 1,200 reviews and a 4.9 rating on Google. Why? Because they know how to treat their customers. AccuTempBR.com.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front-to-Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA-certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front-to-Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to Matt Lanassa over at Angel Oak Home Loans. Just hit me with the video from Little J.
Okay. Shout out Matt. Nice job getting
on
the shout
Saturday.
out there.
Man, I'd say it was crushing because
you had to wake up at 8 a.m. after that Rager Friday night. You looked like a ghost in that picture. And I know how I felt when my own kids had me up at 7 a.m. It was a brutal Saturday morning.
See, you know what that was like when that alarm went off? Like I thought it was a practical joke when that alarm went off on Saturday morning.
No.
So we celebrated the 40th on Friday night. My sister, shout out to Callie.
Great party.
Callie and Robert Swinson for hosting it. It was phenomenal. But as the story goes, we went into the night, Friday night, into Saturday morning celebrating. It was fantastic. It was a great celebration. But then early Saturday morning, Little Jay had to be in Clinton, Louisiana for 8 o'clock for a 9 o'clock kickoff at Silliman Institute, at Silliman down in Clinton. We get there 4:08. I mean, look, man, the alarm goes off at 5:30. I slept away from the house on Saturday morning. Get up 5:30. Get to Lil Jay and his crew about 6:30. Pick up donuts. Got donuts on the way. Got them in the car for 7. We're on our way to Clinton for 8. Get there at 8. We're the first ones there for the team. Get everybody, check their temperature. Everybody's good to go. Next thing you know, the guy comes out from Silliman and said, "We read the schedule wrong, Mercy. You guys actually play at 11.
No.
I said, bro, I laughed in his face. I was like, you kidding, right? He's like, no, man, we feel terrible. I said, not as terrible as I do, cuz. Not as bad as me, bro.
Oh, man, you just had to sit around for another 2 hours?
So we sat around. So look, we go get a little small town breakfast.
Take a nap in the car.
At this point, you just kind of laugh at it. You know?
you don't.
No, it was bad. And so the team were supposed to
I do
play.
love a good small town breakfast.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
So we ended up crushing a small town breakfast. And then we ended up playing the best team in the league because the schedule was done and they didn't know they were playing us. We didn't know we were playing them. They got these uniforms.
What is this wild card game matchup? It's just like a random grab bag. You don't know your opponent going in.
The uniforms is like Little Giants. They get off the bus. They look like the Los Angeles Chargers. They got the powder blues. They got the lightning bolts going down their pants. They got the lightning bolts on the helmet. All the coaches in the gear. Little Jay hits him with a game winner with about 2.5 minutes left from 25 yards out. I'm celebrating it behind him like a psychopath. I think the excessive celebration, was not called on Little Jay. I think it was called on his dad. But no video, and Matt Lanassa just sent it over. Your weekend winner's coming up next. Lanassa's in.
Did he hit him with the Eli Ricks deuces?
No,
on the
that
way to
was
the end
the
zone?
celebration of the weekend. Hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalata and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily here by Secure Shredding and Recycling. Online, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com is where you can find them. If they are your document destruction specialist, as we tell you, it doesn't matter if you're an individual, a business, or a government agency, Secure Shredding and Recycling can take care of your document destructions today. You need hard drives destroyed. If you mention Off the Bench, your first 2 hard drives will be destroyed for free. Online, SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com.
SecureShreddingRecycling.com. SecureShreddingAndRecycling.com. The local guys, LSU grads. Why would you work with the national guys when it's Secure Shredding? Not only will you get a better rate, but there's a relationship there. Look, document destruction is a services business. They're there to serve your needs. And really, that's what Secure Shredding is all about. No matter how they need to get it done, they can, right? They have drop-off points. You can drop to and your stuff will be destroyed. They can bring their trucks on site and destroy it at your facilities, or they bring it back to their own facilities for the biggest jobs and take care of it there. The bottom line is that you will be pleased when you work with them. Go to SecureShreddingRecycling.com today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not 1 but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor. You could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into front-to-back boat services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front-to-back boat services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. WCK is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Monday, October 26th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 82. In case you missed hour one of the show, catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com, brought to you by Carriages. Coming up in hour two, we give you our weekend winners. Sports Illustrated's Ross Dellinger talking college football at 8:30. Follow today's show on Twitter at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. And make sure you're subscribed to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Pumping at it, hour 2 off the bench, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.3 ESPN Radio New Orleans, 94.7 ESPN Alexandria, online at 1045ESPN.com. Hour 2, driven and powered by All-Star Toyota, just like we are every day here on OTB. Hour 1 in the books, Verge Osbury was on fire.
Oh, yeah.
30 minutes ago. Talking about the limited safety play, the personnel struggles and issues for this LSU defense, but also gave good insight to the quarterback competition, Steve Ensminger, and his value to the staff.
I mean, yeah, Steve Ensminger should be one of the main takeaways from Saturday. And that's not to take away anything that TJ Finley did or anything, but I mean, like I said, look from Joe Burrow to Miles Brennan to now TJ Finley. Look at all the different backgrounds that these guys are coming from, right? One, a grad transfer. One who's been developed here but had to develop through multiple systems, and then one who you have molded from the ground up. What's the common denominator? That all three kicked ass on the field and throw for like 300 yards and play great quarterback. It is so... I'm getting goosebumps. I have to pinch myself to think
QBU.
Where we have come, right? I mean, we're not DBU anymore. We got to be QBU. But like how far LSU has come in the manner of just a couple of years with that position and getting consistent, great play out of that position is nothing short of fantastic. It's awesome. Shout out Coach E. You're a dog. You're the man. Bottom line.
Steve Ensminger definitely going to be a part of Weekend Winners, which is coming up here in a couple of minutes. Got our first look at the Big Ten upset over in Bloomington as Indiana beats Penn State in the opening weekend of Big Ten play. We'll talk to Ross Dellinger, his thoughts on what he saw out of the Midwest coming up here on Off the Bench. Also talked to him about the SEC weekend and this one coming up. Auburn and LSU meeting for the first time as unranked opponents since 1999. Auburn, how about the horseshoe Auburn is playing with this season? I mean, the luck that they are able to get away with. I mean, they should be 1-4 up to this point. I mean, the Arkansas loss, the officials admitted that they missed the call there on the backward spike. Nix comes out of the, wants to spike and kill the clock. He fumbles the snap, picks it up, throws it backwards, which, would have made it a fumble. The whistles blow it dead, go back to review, can't review. So they end up getting the win against Arkansas. And then on Saturday, Ole Miss, they're playing Ole Miss at Vaught Hemingway, and it looks like a returner in Shivers for Auburn has the ball, just kind of grazes his finger. And if you go back, you can see the finger move. And
it's pretty indisputable.
His reaction, Shivers' reaction to me, real time when I saw it, told you everything you needed to know. I mean, he turns and runs towards it and then kind of thinks to himself, maybe I shouldn't do this because I don't want to give away that I did touch it. And it just kind of turns into a cluster on the field. Either way, they missed the call again, and Auburn is able to win the game there on Saturday in Oxford. So LSU.
It's fine by me though, because that's I think that's an opportunity that's actually not as good as their record says, but that's fine because it means you have a better chance of beating them, and you'll get more credit for beating them, right? If you're trying to think about getting back to being ranked in the top 25. Hell yeah, dude. I'll take a 3-2 Auburn on the schedule.
Here's your weekend winners. Every week we do it here on Off the Bench. Here's the latest edition.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
First weekend for me, obviously, is TJ Finley, the LSU starting quarterback. Finley, his freshman debut. How cool is this cat, man? I mean, the coolest. Making his first college
No, he's
start.
coming in a couple years. The coldest is. But Finley's really good as
I said the coolest, but yeah.
My bad. You're right.
But Finley on Saturday was phenomenal, man. Couple of touchdown passes, throws for 265, shows his size. When he stands up straight, man, and just throws it, he looks good. But really my weekend winner around LSU football is Richard Condon. Dick Condon,
yep,
as you know, has been talking about the kickoff return absence in Tiger Stadium forever.
What a weird thing to
it is to kind
tie
of
your brand to. But like immediately when it happened, that's all chat was talking about was somebody call Richard Condon.
And he has owned this. It has been, and this is officially from Todd Polites at T Polites coming from Saturday night. It was officially 14,252 days in between the last kickoff inside Tiger Stadium for a touchdown. That was Eric Martin against Kentucky in
81.
In 1981. There has been 679 kickoffs returned in Tiger Stadium between the touchdowns. LSU has had 6 kickoff returns away from Tiger Stadium since Eric Martin's return in 81. They both happened in the third quarter, and they both happened within the 11-minute mark. Trey Palmer's happened exactly with 11 minutes left in the third quarter, and Eric Martin housed his in 81 with 11:35 remaining in the third quarter.
How about Trey Palmer with the 4D play of fumbling just to throw everything off and then find a way to get in the end zone? Great job,
See,
Trey
how
Palmer.
many people look like they had angles on him?
Well, okay, so yes, that is actually the most true part of that. Palmer displayed not
world-class speed.
Not DK Metcalf speed, but close to it. Because, yeah, I mean, one of those cats took about as good of an angle as you possibly could. I mean, he tried to head Palmer off like all the way down to the 2, and he just still misjudged and couldn't catch Palmer because of his speed. All right, my first weekend winner. You got that Reggie Chapman tweet, Danny? So check out this. Right before, what's his name? Matt Slate, the Carolina kicker? I'm blanking right now off the top of my head. Either way, so Carolina's kicker lines up for the 65-yarder, right? Would have been an NFL record, a massive kick to tie the game. This comes from Reggie Chapman's Twitter. Look at what they're playing on the video board right before him missing a huge one in last year's game in front of a full stadium. So not only is this dude standing behind the Fleur-de-Lis logo,
having to look at this field goal, which looks incredibly small, but directly in his line of sight, he is having to watch his failures writ large on like a 100-foot television. So shout out to the Saints video staff in the Superdome. I tried to track down a specific name to shout out. I couldn't figure it out. But if you are the video board operator, you know who you are. Tell me who you are. You're the man.
Is it Jerry Romig? No, he's the voice.
Yeah, I don't know. But the whole team, whoever came up with that, great job.
First weekend winner for me, Clayton Kershaw. Kind of putting to bed all the playoff Kershaw talk this year. 2 starts in the World Series now, won them both, 11 2/3 innings, 4 runs, 14 strikeouts. Only threw 85 pitches last night. Might not be done seeing Clayton Kershaw. Might come back out of the bullpen here on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Is that just going to set him up to...
I mean, look.
To do like all the playoff Kershaw things and erase all the good that he's done?
He's damn near erased it all right now. I mean,
but he didn't go 6, so he was fine, right? As long as
he went 5 2/3. He pitched
saying.
into the 6th. He went 6 in game 1, though.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean,
7.
he's
Is 7 the cutoff? Where's
he's
the
erasing it right now, T-Bob. And if he comes back and closes this thing out on either Tuesday or Wednesday for him.
I don't want to throw anybody off here. Are y'all smelling what we're smelling?
Yeah, it smells like female.
Yeah. What is going on in here?
What is that?
I don't know.
I think it
smells like
outside
cream.
of the door.
For first, it smelled
Wait,
a
what
little...
is it?
Lotion.
I don't know.
Smells
to
like
me,
lotion.
this smells like... Because first it smelled a little bad, like a little
smelled like
flatulence
kind
of
of
some
fruity.
sort. And then
Fruity,
this smells
yeah.
like when you spray like Lysol or like Febreze over the bad smell, and they mix and make that like sickly smell. This is terrible. Anyway, Danny, we
It's
can
got to
winner.
be from the outside door, I feel like.
I mean, but then how much did they spray?
I mean,
we're in an
Lord.
enclosed space, and it is pouring in. It's almost like somebody fed it directly into
In
the
that
AC
vent.
system. Has to be. All right, Danny, you got it. What you got?
My weekend winner goes out to Khabib and the UFC.
Oof.
Retired on top, 29-0 in professional record, and yeah, just retired on top.
Imagine doing this. Imagine fighting for a living, the most individual sport possible, and losing 1 round your entire professional career.
Woo.
Now, granted, a lot of people
That
say
be
he'll be
good?
back because he comes back, but it was a sweet moment. So he lost his father due to COVID-19 complications, I guess, in the run-up to the fight. And he always promised his father that they would always fight together, and he promised his mother he would never fight without his father.
Damn.
So he cut his gloves off in the ring and said he's going to abide by that promise. Shout out Khabib. That's unreal.
Discipline, baby. Marcus Davenport, weekend winner. Panthers' final drive. Davenport sacked Teddy Bridgewater for an 8-yard loss. The sack brought up 4th and 19. Panthers head coach Matt Rule then rolled the dice and trotted his place kicker out.
Which was the right decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it was,
64 and a
6
half
inches off.
yards, man.
Yeah, it's 6 inches off. You can't hate on Rule for the decision. But yeah, great team. So Ross Jackson of the Locked On Saints podcast also pointed this out. On the screen before as well, he had the TFL that even led to a 1-yard loss. So Davenport, not 1, but 2 super impactful plays to push him right out of field goal range and ensure the win for the Saints. He was worth every first-round pick you gave up for him. My second weekend winner, Ohio football fans. First off, Ohio State looks incredible.
Yeah, they look great.
Cincinnati looks great. I mean, Cincinnati's a top 10 team in college football
They're
right
good.
now.
They're good.
No, who's going to beat him? And they got to witness what you think would be the first of many great quarterback battles on the NFL level when you had Baker Mayfield and Joe Burrow going toe-to-toe. How about this? There were 5 go-ahead touchdowns in that fourth quarter alone. In the fourth quarter alone, 5 go-ahead touchdowns. And it looked like Joey B had got it done. He did his job. Unfortunately, the Bengals could not hold up their end of the bargain. The Browns ended up winning. But, man, if you are an Ohio football fan, this seems like everything's coming up good for you.
Former New England Patriot quarterbacks. I say quarterbacks because Jimmy G also had a pretty good day yesterday. Did turn the ball over twice, but Tom Brady, it's been a rough couple of times here for Boston sports fans having to watch Mookie dominate with the Dodgers while they missed the playoffs, the Red Sox. Now you have to watch Tom Brady go out there, dominate the Raiders while Cam Newton turns the ball over 3 times, Jared Stidham turns the ball over 1 time, and oh, by the way, Tom Brady's former backup, Jimmy Garoppolo, also almost goes for 300 on you in that same game, and you lose 33-6.
Yeah, I have it right here as well. I mean, because it lined up, too, where if you were watching Red Zone, those games were going on at the same time. So it was, like, really stark, right? We've been judging throughout the season who's happier, who's doing better in the breakup, Belichick or Brady, and right now it's not even
It is
close.
clearly Tom Brady.
Clearly, and now they're adding Antonio Brown to
And
the
now
mix.
he's bringing Antonio Brown over.
And
Come
who's the
on.
Patriots' next game? The Buffalo Bills. 2-5 might be real, fellas.
Well, I don't know. We'll get to the Bills, dude. I'm super down on Josh Allen
You
right
should be.
now,
He's
bro.
not good.
I mean, what happened?
18-10
It
over the
was
Jets.
so
showed
much,
back up.
It was so much
October
fun early
happened,
on,
T-Bob.
dude.
That's what
happened, dude? My guy.
Danny Cardenas.
My other weekend winner goes out to the Eagles, still the NFC East leaders,
Yeah,
2-4. Next is Washington at 2-5.
So they are
Shout out
the
Eagles.
only division in NFL history where nobody has 3 wins through the 7th week of the season.
They're combined 7-20.
How do you explain Mike
7 and
McCarthy?
20.
Like, how do you explain
Yeah,
Mike
I don't know.
McCarthy?
You don't.
I don't know. It's
Like,
terrible.
What in the hell,
Also,
man?
guys, we don't victory lap very often because we don't get many things right very often. But I want you to all take everything you said about Andy Dalton and shove it right where you know where to shove it, Danny, because Andy Dalton's horrible. And
He's
I
not
tried
good.
telling y'all that over the summer.
Maybe they trade for Jameis Winston. We get Dak
That
Prescott.
that is the latest talk, is the Cowboys trying to stabilize because they can still win the division with Jameis Winston. I wonder what the price of the Saints would be. I don't know, like a 3rd-round pick? Would you be into that? Or do you want Jameis going
I
forward?
want a second.
Yeah, I'd say
I want a
second.
second.
I don't know. If somebody gives a second for Jameis, I'd be surprised. We'll see them.
A lot of desperate teams out there looking for quarterback play. Is there a scarier piece of video than the one isolated on DK Metcalf when he
God.
decides to track down Budda Baker?
Freak.
Let's not forget, like, Budda Baker is up there with Patrick Peterson as far as athletes on the defensive
They
backfield in
gave
Arizona.
that man 32
Yes.
and made him live
Yes.
up to, and he has lived up to
And
it.
he's been
very
great.
good.
He's been phenomenal. I mean, look at
The
him for the last
size
5 yards.
difference.
The last 5 yards when he knows
so
that
scared.
Metcalf is going to get him, and he looks back. I mean, he almost has that
He
like,
does a double take.
oh my god, type moment.
Where
like,
did you come
What
from?
are you doing here, man?
This
Look at
is-
him look back. Oh,
The
oh my
double take,
God.
dude. He looks. He's like, "What?" No, this is like a horror movie. This is like
Yeah.
Jason or like Myers if they would run or something. It's the fast zombie. It's terrifying.
Budda Baker looked like he wanted to throw a stiff arm there for a minute. It was like, no, never mind. No, I'm not going to do that.
Break your arm.
Yeah, not going to do that.
Shout out Arizona though. Remember a
Yeah,
couple
man.
weeks
What
ago
a
we
win.
were off him.
What a win.
And so, if the NFC East is horrible, the NFC West is one of the best divisions of all time, where I think it's the 3rd time in NFL history where through Week 7 everybody has a winning record.
They
And a lot
could
of
all
that's
make the
because they
playoffs.
played the
They could.
All
NFC
4 of
East.
those
Russell
teams can make
Wilson's
the
deep ball
playoffs.
to the Lockett last night, that is, and I hate to be hyperbole speaking the money and all that stuff, but you can't throw a deep ball any better than that. I mean, he
All
threw
3 of
that
them.
thing 60 yards, and it looked like it dropped out of the sky into his gut.
Now
He couldn't drop it.
I should say this. So I'm going to victory lap. I should also
Sheesh.
take my licks
Moscona.
because y'all were absolutely right about the Seahawks defense, and I was absolutely wrong. The Seahawks defense is garbage. So
They
I
have no
apologize.
pass rush, man.
Yeah,
No
I
pass
was
rush.
I was wrong, wholly and fully there. My next weekend winner, Brody Miller and Indiana football. How about it, dude? How sick was that stretch? I mean, what a game! I love.
They looked at it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
it's
legitimately,
still
they
really
looked at it
close,
for
too.
think-
5
see,
minutes.
Really close.
to me, I feel like you could
Because
have
he hit the
confirmed it.
pylon, right?
Well, even no, the pylon's not what I'm looking at, but I feel like all it has to do is break the plane. If the plane is a vertical line, the nose just has to get an inch over it. And in my opinion, it clearly, if you're watching a line, it breaks the plane right there, like right before it hits the pylon.
Does it hit the ground first?
I think
Where's
it
his
breaks.
knee,
I think
too?
it breaks
That's the
right
thing.
before we watch it all Saturday. Anyway, it was awesome. What it means, and not only does it confirm all the game of inches cliches, but that was Indiana's first top 10 win in 43 years. Shout out Brody Miller. I knew he was just waiting for Indiana to blow it the whole time. Other weekend winners, Louisiana football fans who love offense and hate punters. Shout out my neighbor Ben, who pointed out to me that both LSU and the Saints did not punt this weekend. Live crowds at sporting events. The TJ Finley chant in the 4th was excellent. And how about Todd Gurley? Everybody's calling him a loser, but really he gets it. The Falcons fire their GM. Fans love when a new GM gets a high draft pick. Todd Gurley knew the Falcons needed to lose, and so he set them up for that loss by scoring a touchdown that he absolutely should not have. Also, watching him try to avoid scoring but
pretty
falling
good.
in the end zone, just
Pretty good.
it's hilarious. And for the Falcons, it is the comedy of errors continues.
We've all been on the side of a pool before where you've not tried to fall in it. Felt like that's what Gurley was doing.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Ross Dellinger, 12 minutes from now.
Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Take a lap. Bastards. Drop the ball, run a mile. Start the live read early, run a mile.
Coy's Diesel online, coysdiesel.com. Remember, if you drive a light, medium, or heavy-duty diesel truck, you can get in touch with Coy today about that 24-hour roadside assistance, or if you need service on that diesel truck, Gonzalez and Airline is where you can find them. Great service, great shop over there, coysdiesel.com.
Another one I was wrong on. Shout out Rutgers and Greg Schiano. I've been a big Schiano hater, but Rutgers starting it off with a great performance over Michigan State. Go to DownSoulGlassandBody.com, DownSoulGlassandBody.com. I always talk about how they'll tow you from an accident and drop the car back off to you. I guess what I assumed y'all understood, but I don't know actually if people are. It's free. That's free. If you get an accident, they will tow you for free to their shop. They will fix it. The body shop is excellent, second to none in the state. Put that on anything. And then they will drop it back off to your home for free. Convenience of the highest order because they know how to treat their customers. Go to DownSoulGlassandBody.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as a bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Hi, this is Charles Hannegriff. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I mean, two of the top athletic plays on display yesterday afternoon for your NFL viewing pleasure. If you were watching Las Vegas and Tampa Bay yesterday, David Carr thought for sure on a 4th and 1. 4th down and 1, Las Vegas decides to go for it. They call a little pop pass. It's defended off the snap, and Carr's kind of patting the ball and makes his mind up that he's going to try to run the 1 yard. He's going to try to run for the 1 yard to get to the pile. All he needs to get to is the sticks. And Devin White's in the middle of the field, makes his mind up that he's not going to allow him to get there, and White closes in on David Carr. I mean, like a bullet. And when he gets there, he knocks him about 7 yards out of bounds. It's right on the feet of Foster Moreau. I mean, he falls on the feet of Foster Moreau. I wonder if Moreau's watching Devin White, looking at David Carr, thinking, you idiot, bro. What are you thinking? And then last night, if you watched Arizona and Seattle, DK Metcalf on an interception thrown by Russell Wilson at his own goal line, near Seattle's own goal line, is an interception. And we were talking about it at the break. DK Metcalf, there's an isolated camera on Metcalf the entire time. At about the 15-yard line, right here, he puts his head down, and it is over. I mean, it looks almost like one of those animal films
that
like you see where like they're hunting.
To Mr. Gilmore.
That's right. That's right, bro. I mean, like,
or that jacket belongs to Mr. Gilmore.
I mean, give me my ball back.
Yeah, that was awesome. Devin White is awesome. As Champ says, Daniel Jones also showcasing elite speed in this football week. It was a great week for speed.
Speedometer on Metcalf, 23.2 miles an hour.
Just running
top
like
speed.
The top speed that you're allowed in a school zone. I can't really wrap my head around that. That's
He's actually
wild.
speeding in a school zone.
Yeah, he might be getting pulled over. So we're talking about Devin White, and shout out to everybody who joined us on Saturday's 104.5 ESPN YouTube Fan Cave. It was a ton of fun. It was me, my guy Emil McClellan, then my guy Alex Anderson. And Alex pointed something out that I kind of want to pick your brain on because I think he may be right, where we were talking about linebacker play and how linebacker play right now seems to be the biggest thing holding back this LSU defense. And the thing is, was LSU, is this just natural? Were you just due for a down year at linebacker? I mean, look at the run that you have had recently. I mean, I don't know where you want to start it, but when you think about like guys like Kendall Beckwith and Quan Alexander and Adebo Jones and Duke Riley, I mean, Kevin Minter even at the forefront even before that. And then you get into Devin White, then you get into Patrick Queen, you get into Jacob Phillips. Like, if you remember, Quan Alexander signed the richest linebacker contract in NFL history not long ago. So it's just like you have had an unreal run in terms of that position group. I guess it was just time, like you were just due for a down year. I thought it was very insightful from Alex.
Yeah, you can say the same thing about safety, too, this season. I mean, it seems
That's
like,
fair.
you know, I mean, LSU has always had that headline safety, and you heard Verge Alsbury. This isn't, this isn't just sports talk radio chatter here on a Monday morning trying to break down what's missing and what's the problem for LSU football. I mean, you heard an executive from the athletic department speaking, and somebody who knows a ton about football, speaking about the lack of playmakers that LSU has on their third level at the safety position when you become so accustomed, whether it be, Grant Delpit, Jamal Adams, going back to guys like LaRon Landry that have played here, and everybody in between has always had some type of impact on the game, and you just don't see that this season like you've had in years past. The same goes for linebacker. It's been more curious at linebacker to see them not tap in. I think Micah Baskerville got his most extended playing time on Saturday. I wonder if
he made one play that stood out, because the biggest thing is that the linebacker. Now, he also had another swing pass where I don't know why these inside linebackers don't understand their responsibilities on simple swing passes. But the point is, my biggest problem with Damone Clark has been the passivity. Like I said, just playing passive, catching blocks, not getting downhill, not dictating, not being aggressive. And then when Baskerville did get his opportunity on a 3rd and 6, he had a really nice tackle to stop the first down where he was aggressive. He submarined the block, avoided it, and then went low on the running back and managed to make the play. So you have to go with Baskerville. I still guess I'm not sure how much of an improvement it will be. I mean, the most shocking part to me is Damone Clark must have done really good things in the offseason. I remember the coaches talking about him. They thought he was going to be fantastic. He got number 18, and somewhere along the line, something got lost in translation because he's just really struggling right now.
Yeah, it is, and it seems like, it seems like it's a thumper that you're asking to play in space. It seems like you're asking him to do something that he's just not comfortable
he
in
doesn't
doing.
look
He
comfortable playing middle
doesn't
linebacker
look
at all.
comfortable. He just doesn't look as if he settles in ever at the game, because he's better than what he's showing. He's a better player, you would think, because of the examples that you just laid out. I mean, there had to be something along the way that you saw during training camp, or saw. I mean, do you think it's just
he
the
looks
best
slow,
of bad options?
And he's not slow. Like, you look slow. See, but even if it was the best of bad option things, you don't give that guy number 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's an upperclassman. Like, they
exactly
gave him
right.
18 because he must have been balling out in practice. But
I mean, to me, the more concerning role and player on this team is Jacoby Stevens.
Yeah.
First and foremost, he looks like a man without an island. He looks like a man without a position, because he's not a safety. He can't guard.
So Emil McClellan says, at what point to move Jacoby Stevens back down to linebacker? It is kind of interesting. It's almost like, if you could go back in time, could you have made Jacoby into a middle linebacker?
I mean, that's what he is.
And
that's what he does
best.
best.
Feels like he might have fit better there. I mean, because right now, we know that Damone Clark's a physical freak. He's just not playing like it because I think he's maybe thinking too much. He's just out of position, whatever it is. And to be fair, Stevens has been really bad in coverage. His run fits haven't been good either. He seems to have some misunderstandings about what his coverage responsibilities are. But in terms of the run fits alone, I do think the linebackers are having a little bit of a knock-on effect where a lot of times they're getting knocked back and like the safeties are running into their backs trying to run support, and they can't really get a read because nobody is dictating to the offense. We'll get into this when we go through my game notes, but one of my biggest takeaways this week is that nobody seems to be trusting in their teammate when it comes to the gap scheme, which is what makes a 4-3 effective, because it's not like a read defense where you're always trying to make the players. I mean, you have to have your job and do your job, and you have to trust the person next to you to do their job. So if you have contain, you don't get to dive inside and try to make a tackle. You have to do the dirty work. You have to turn the play back inside and trust that your teammates are going to do that, or are going to be there. And when that trust starts to develop, and that's why I'm a bit more bullish on the defense than I was coming in, because I think that's a fixable issue. If they can develop that trust, if they can really get guys to focus on just doing their job, I think you could see continued significant improvement out of that side of the ball.
Ross Dellinger from Sports Illustrated next, talking college football.
Off the Bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Brought to you by the Lanois, Lanoix agency.com. Got our next field trip from Randy. We're making a stop down to New Roads, boys. Just waiting on the date and time from our leader, Randy Lanois, Lanoix agency.com. Remember, get in touch with BG, Randy, Brian, David, all standing by for auto insurance, home insurance, business insurance, flood insurance. They can help you out online, Lanoix agency.com. You can dial up the boys this morning at 225-749-5640, online at lanoixagency.com.
LanoixAgency.com, LanoixAgency.com. Go there for all of your insurance needs. Bundle your home, your auto, small business owner. They got your back. You want flood insurance. Get that max coverage at a great rate that gives you that peace of mind when it comes to storm season. Seems like maybe another one heading our way. Well, I guess have to wait and see. But look, the bottom line with Lanois is that it's just the greatest relationship that I've ever had with my insurance agent. It doesn't feel like pulling teeth. They actually work with my best interests at heart. LanoixAgency.com.
Off the Bench, hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This was us 20 years ago. Since then, we've grown to over 200 employees. We've helped over 100,000 people purchase, build, renovate, or refinance. Over $17 billion in loans. We make the mortgage process easy and convenient. Apply online or at one of our local branches. If you're looking to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, go to gmfsmortgage.com to see how we can help change your life today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge.
Hi, this is Charles Hannigrove. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Shout out to the Day 18 campaign soldier, Whitney Bro, who...
should have been in Weekend Winners. I don't know why we didn't. Missed opportunity there.
The biggest of winners. Her cancer was announced that it is in remission.
Let's go!
On Friday. As Whitney just posted to her Instagram, cancer's worst nightmare, a badass hustler who doesn't fight fair, is in remission. Congratulations to our girl, as she has been the voice of strength here on OTB for breast cancer survivors and people that are going through the fight, as well as she will be here Friday.
Over. Still got a Day 18 campaign. Still put the notification in your calendar on the 18th of every month. Give yourself an exam. Men, if you're listening, tell your wives. And you catch it as early as possible.
Ross Dellinger is over at Sports Illustrated SI.com, as he is one of the faces and pins of college football over there. Big Ten back in action this weekend. An upset on the field here in week 1 of Big Ten play as Indiana takes down Penn State. Big Ten was trying like hell to get Penn State that win. They just couldn't do it in Bloomington as Indiana prevails there. Ohio State looks legit for sure. And the college football weekend, we break it down every week with Ross Dellinger here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Ross, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you guys?
Doing good. Big Ten. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I think you kind of hit on it there. You mentioned Ohio State. You know, we were anxiously awaiting to see how the Buckeyes would look. I know we talked on the show last week about Alabama and Clemson and the gap between them and everybody else, and you were wondering if Ohio State was going to squeeze in there. Through 1 week, they did, right? I mean, it was pretty clear they rolled pretty well. Now you got to think about the competition. I don't know exactly how good Nebraska's going to be, and obviously Ohio State was at home and all, but but they certainly look good in I think the Heisman Trophy field. I know again it's just one game, but Justin Fields looked like he's gonna give a run to Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence in that Heisman conversation.
Ross Dellinger joining us here. SI.com is where you can read his work. At Ross Dellinger is where you can hit him on Twitter. Henry Waddle went down Saturday for Alabama with a season-ending ankle injury. What does that mean for the Tide's championship push?
Well, it's obviously a significant blow. Usually, when you have a receiver go down, it doesn't feel as significant as a quarterback going down, or even a big significant like linebacker, defensive lineman. Receivers seem to rotate in and out pretty regularly, and Alabama has certainly a lot of them. But this one feels a little more significant just because of how good that guy is. And I covered Georgia, Alabama a week and a half or so ago, and there was one play where he ran. He's so fast that he was so fast on the route that the cornerback felt from Georgia. It was a good cornerback, and I even talked to NFL scouts about the cornerback, and he's young, got great reviews and all. But Waddle was so fast that the cornerback fell down, just fell down, just couldn't keep up with him. It's incredible how the speed that kid has, and so that it does feel significant. And look, they've got a stock of them type of receivers over there. They've had a stock of those receivers for a long time. They've got a new guy, John Mechie III, that's kind of coming into his own. I think he got 150 receiving yards last week against Tennessee. And they've got Devontae Smith from there in Louisiana. So they've got weapons. But Waddle, and I know he got hurt on kickoff, I believe, and that is something that he was really good at. So it does feel more significant than just a normal receiver going down. It really does, and you wonder, you wonder how it is going to impact them down the stretch. I don't necessarily think it's going to result in some kind of loss of a game down the stretch, honestly, but it does feel more significant than normal, just because that kid just has an incredible amount of speed and talent.
Turn to Ross Dellinger, at Ross Dellinger on Twitter. Catches work on Sports Illustrated. Ross, the Big Ten. I want to jump back to the Big Ten. So they're playing 8 games this year. Something that Moscone was kind of positing Saturday. Saturday. I want to see where your head's at with it. Is it fair to say that with that limited schedule, if you lose in that conference, is Penn State eliminated from the playoff conversation because of just one loss?
I don't think so, but I do believe that because you're playing a limited amount of games, and the same for the Pac-12, which are playing, I believe, 7, that every game just means more, right? When you reduce a schedule, any schedule in any sport, every game becomes more important, and that's also why I think college football and the NFL, while they're as popular as they are, right? Because you do have a reduced schedule, and so every game means so much. Can't say that about a baseball. Can't say that about basketball when you have so many games. Although this year obviously was different with the pandemic and the shortened schedule. But every game means more in football, it seems like. And so I do believe that when you have such a small schedule like that, a reduced schedule, that one loss is going to hurt you more than if you had an 11, 12 game schedule and you had one loss. I definitely believe that's the case. And we're probably going to see is again, you're running in pencil here, but Alabama from the SEC and Clemson from the ACC, and then you're looking for 2 other teams, and obviously an undefeated Ohio State would probably be in there, and maybe a one-loss Ohio State. I mean, what if Alabama and Clemson are the only 2 undefeated Power 5 programs? You're going to have a one-loss get in probably. Is it Ohio State, or is it a second from the SEC? Maybe. Is it Notre Dame, a one-loss Notre Dame? But I think you're going to end up having 1 or 2 one-loss teams in the playoff.
Ross, let's look at the LSU game. LSU bounces back. Great performance against South Carolina. TJ Finley steals all the headlines. Hey, is LSU now QBU?
Chill out, Ross.
Wow. Look where we are, right? How crazy, just a 2 or 3 years removed from the days of us spending hours and hours talking about why LSU is so bad at the quarterback position, or maybe not shouldn't say bad, average at best at the quarterback position, and when is it going to get a quarterback? And now we're talking about what these quarterbacks that have come down the line here, and I know Finley's just a true freshman, and I didn't see any of the games, but I did see the numbers. Obviously, read enough about what happened, and it sounds like an incredible debut for a freshman. It was especially against an SEC team with the head coach being obviously Will Muschamp, a defensive kind of minded guy. That the numbers they put up are pretty impressive. But it's and I think T-Bob is where we are in college football. And I think Nick Saban said it last week in an interview with ESPN, how offenses, he doesn't really like it, but offense wins football this right now in this era. And I think it's where we are. LSU's quarterback position is certainly being helped by the change in the game. You've got defenses that are just getting more exploited, and because offenses are getting better and better at the receiver position, at the quarterback position, and it goes all back to the roots of 7-on-7 and guys, and the evolution of the spread and all that. And we're seeing it play out now in college. And if you watch last night's NFL game, we're seeing it play out in the NFL as well.
Offense is ruling the day on both levels. Ross, what do you make of this Auburn football team? LSU obviously has them next.
Gosh, they could very easily be 1-3, right? I mean, or 1-4,
yeah.
I should say. They could very easily be 1-4. A couple of missed calls by SEC officials. They are just literally 2 calls away from being a 1-4 football team. It's quite incredible. And if they were 1-4, we'd obviously be talking about a coach that is certainly on the hot seat with Gus. But they obviously a defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele, and over there, and he's been there for a while. He was at LSU, of course, in 2015. He's one of the best in the nation. I mean, he's highly regarded. So they're always going to be pretty solid on defense. The problem is they lost, as you guys remember, what was probably one of the best defensive fronts the SEC's had in a few years. Last year, they lost all those guys, or most of those guys, from that front last season. And so they've got some holes, but they're always going to be pretty solid on defense. I don't know what's going on offensively with them, and I probably haven't watched them enough, but it doesn't strike me that they're usually a Gus Malzahn team. If you guys remember just watching him through the years, I mean, he's always survived in won games on running the football. I mean, they've always run the football really well, and they've been creative. I don't think they're in the top 50 in rushing this year. They've really struggled in that category, and that's put a lot of pressure on Bo Nix, who's only a second-year sophomore starter, and he struggles. If you can pressure him, he has proven that he will make some mistakes, and that's what LSU's going to have to do.
Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated. What game are you going to this weekend coming up?
I am staying home. I'll be back on the road the next week. Yeah, I was going to go to Penn State, Ohio State. That's just a short drive for me, but then Penn State lost. And so I'm going to probably just stay home, and we'll be back on the road the next week. I think there are a couple of really big games next week, Georgia, Florida, and Clemson, Notre Dame.
Are you hearing anything on Florida? Can they get back to work soon?
Yeah, I believe that's happening. Oh gosh, I wanted to say this week or either today or tomorrow. They're supposed to get back going, so that'll be interesting to watch. Right? They've been shut down for basically 2 weeks, and it's a good lesson for everybody. Right? You yeah, I know these kids aren't getting sick and going to the hospital, but if you get too many kids with contracting the virus, you're going to shut down for 2 weeks, and that obviously affects your season.
Ross, have a good week. We'll talk to you next Monday.
All right, guys. See you.
Thanks, Ross.
Close that hour 2 next.
Off the bench with Kalana and T-Bob.
Daily Hero and Off the Bench, we are brought to you by Donaldsonville Glass and Body, DGBauto.com. Remember, over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body, they can help you out with 24-hour towing and collision repair. Get it over there to collision repair to Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They can help you with 24-hour towing. Online, DGBauto.com. Not all about the collision repair. They can help you with tires, windshields, services, and oil changes. Online, DGBauto.com.
DGBauto.com, DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com, your one-stop car shop. Like I said earlier, you get in an accident, the police cannot tell you who gets to tow you. The insurance company cannot tell you where you need to go get it fixed. You tell them, I'm going to DG&B. Why? Because the tow is free. They'll pick your vehicle up, fix it, and then drop it back off to your home without ever you paying them a dime for that service. Also, the quality of the work at Donaldsonville Glass and Body is second to none. Your car is going to look brand new. But it's not just collision repair, tires, wheels, brakes, inspection sticker. They do it all. One-stop shop, DonaldsonvilleGlassandBody.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again. We'll make it through the tough times, we always do. And Blue Cross will always be here to support you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Service Mastery Elite creates.
Hi, this is Charles Hannegriff. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, good stuff from us, Dellinger. Remember, every Monday here on Off the Bench, Dellinger talking college football along with Verge Osbury, Executive Deputy Director of Athletics over at LSU. As Osbury was pretty transparent this morning on some of the issues plaguing the LSU defense. Everything you missed is online, brought back to you by Carriages of Baton Rouge. Get in to Carriages and see them on Jefferson Highway, Old Hammond, as they are on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And on online at carriagesbr.com. That Russell Wilson pass to Lockett, you forget Patrick Peterson's in perfect position last night. Peterson had an interception last night, but Wilson just incredible accuracy on the deep ball last night as the Seattle Seahawks get beat for the first time in 2020.
And now I'm 0 for 2 in the degeneration dome.
Yeesh.
Yep. But again, that's why I celebrated when I was winning.
Ott making a return?
I don't know. I haven't checked his results yet. And I think
how it goes.
I think
When
Megan's
you struggle.
at 1-1. I'm not sure where Mincy's at, but yeah, I need the and now my greatest hope for to avoid a winless week is Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears. So I felt a lot cooler when I was picking 6. Bears +6 on Friday. And I kind of thought that was just like a little quirky pick to go on top, and now it feels a lot worse.
And Foles is going up against that Rams defensive front tonight.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But the Bears are 5-1. Never forget, man. Yeah.
What's coming up in hour 3, T?
So as we do every Monday, the new segment that we have developed, the kind of chunk of the hour will be T-Bob's Game Notes, where once again, last night I was in that film for about 4 hours, and I have 9 pages of thoughts to get to that we will break down, and that is by position group, by offense, or kind of broke it up into like offense, defense, and then general thoughts and thoughts going forward. So if you want like a full deep dive on this LSU game, it is coming up in OTBOT.
All right, stick around as we will, T-Bob will get you that in OTBOT. Don't forget, on Tuesday's edition of Off the Bench, we will catch up with Ed Ogeron tomorrow at 7:30. Coach O will meet with the press today regularly, just like he does every Monday. That usually happens at about 12:30, 10 minutes after noon. You can catch the preview on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Voice of the Tigers and Gordy Rush will get you set up for Coach Ogeron at 12:30 today. Coach O will be with us tomorrow. At 7:30, we'll talk to Derek Stingley Sr. At 8 a.m., we'll get Coach Sting's thoughts on some of the comments that Verge Osbury had this morning on the LSU defensive backfield. And then Nick Underhill will be talking New Orleans Saints as the Saints take care of Carolina yesterday. 2 wins in a row for the black and gold. We'll get you set up for New Orleans, Chicago, as the Saints travel up to Soldier Field this Sunday. It'll be a Saturday afternoon, 3:25 kickoff for Saints and Bears. Monday edition of Off the Bench, first 2 hours in the books. Remember, Carriages of Baton Rouge, all the sound. Here comes hour 3, OTBOT.
Off the Bench with Collada and T-Bob.
Brought to you daily by Ochsner Sports Medicine. Remember, Ochsner Sports Medicine has 3 locations, and they're all in the listening area. So no matter where you are and you're listening, Covington, North Shore area, New Orleans, over there on Clearview Parkway, or right here in Baton Rouge over at the Grove Boulevard, they are ready for you over at Ochsner. It doesn't matter if you're an elite athlete, weekend warrior, ancient athlete, somewhere in between, and you want to get back on the field, back in the game, back in the pool. They can help you out over at Ochsner Sports Medicine. They can do that all under one roof. From MRIs to surgeries to rehabilitation, they can help you at Ochsner Sports Medicine.
Ochsner Sports Medicine, Ochsner Performance Training. One of my buddies actually been hitting up Ochsner Performance Training, getting his body right. Look, and he's just doing it just to feel better, right? But if you're a high school athlete, an ancient athlete, you want to get bigger, stronger, faster, engage in the same latest and greatest training technique that the pros do. And I'm not just saying that. It's literally what the pros do, and it's at Ochsner. Go to Ochsner.org, Ochsner.org.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, October 26th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see sunny skies with a high of 82. Coming up today on OTBOT, we recap the football weekend. Follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live over at the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Off the Bench and Off the Bench Overtime YouTube channels. Set your notifications. New content is posted there daily. OTBOT starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jordy Collada and T-Bob Hebert. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in OTBOT, hour hour number 3. We gotta stop saying nombre. That's name. Danny told me this. I'm an idiot. Welcome in. Very spooky. It is Halloween week officially, boys. Are we feeling good? Are we hyped? Mandalorian coming out Friday. Got Renfest right around the corner. My wife knows how to sext because she is currently sending me messages about maybe wanting to spend the night at Renfest. You can only handle so much at 9 a.m. on a Monday, baby. That's why I married you. I love you. But I'm in a great mood. And I'm in a great mood. Why? Because how much good football did we witness this weekend? Louisiana coming up huge. UL beating UAB, which I read something really odd. Bill Connolly was tweeting about this. For some reason, the S&P Plus, his analytics system, only had UL with a 5% chance to win that game. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I don't think UAB is especially good, but one of the longest beats in that system that there's kind of ever been. Indiana up there with Penn State as well. They were kind of lumped in together. But UL gets a big win, bounce back. LSU, obviously. The final stand of the defense, they passed as they stabilized, right? I mean, I'm down to celebrate the LSU offense and everything they accomplished because they have proven a ton to me. The LSU defense, and we'll get into this, I still have major concerns going forward, but they did stabilize. At least they passed this test, the one that they had to pass because it was a great match for them. And then your New Orleans Saints continue to find a way to get it done. I got my Will Clapp jersey on. Shout out Willie Clapp, bumped up to the active roster on Sunday. But yeah, man, the Saints, no Mike Thomas, continue to find ways to win. Again, like the LSU team, the parallels are kind of fascinating. I still have major issues with the Saints defense, but the offense has been fantastic. And Nick Underhill tweeted this, and I think I agree. Alvin Kamara deserves a raise. I know you just paid that man, but he is, like Mike Thomas, he is living up to that contract and then some, which is ultimately the sign of an incredible player, the sign of a player who is motivated by more than just money. Now, it's definitely, the money's a huge part, and it's very nice. But the greatest competitors are just the ones that have that hyper-competitive drive. They're internally motivated. And when you look what Alvin Kamara has done this season, I don't know how you don't feel that he falls into that category. I thought the emergence of Marquez Callaway was excellent. Gives you another weapon for Drew Brees that it looks like he already has a good relationship with, good timing on, and can trust. Jared Cook on the first touchdown, so just a fantastic win. And then obviously what you can't get away from is Marcus Davenport making literal game-winning plays. I mean, that's why you traded a first-round pick for him, is that right there. I'm not saying you're going to do that week in and week out. A couple times a year, though, and that'll make it all worth it. And now when you look at the two Davenport games, he's been really good, and the pressure's been fantastic. That said, one of my biggest problems, if we're just touching on the defense, one of the biggest issues that I've had thus far this season, and it's paralleled in both the LSU and the Saints defense right now, is the defense is just making it too easy on the opponents. I'm trying to find exactly. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Like when you look at, like, okay, right now, but the LSU and Saints offense are being very effective. They're managing to score a lot. A lot of times they're having to grind it out. Maybe it's like long, sustained drives. And then the defense will go allow the same amount of points at about a tenth of the effort, right? Look no further than the first two drives of the LSU game, where you had LSU 16 plays, half the quarter, 7 points, and then South Carolina comes back 3 plays, 74 yards, 7 points. You look at the Saints game, I think the Saints are in 20 more plays. They had the ball for 10 more minutes. So, like, there's still a ton to clean up with these football teams, but we always have to remember to be grateful for when the football is good and celebrate it on that Monday and live in that moment, right? Because you may be frustrated next week, but you're not this week, and this is a weekend to be grateful on. Also, shout out Drew Brees. Another NFL record for your boy. First ever to complete 7,000 passes in the NFL, a career just continues to rewrite the record books. And look, I know that the Bucs are getting all the hype right now, and deservedly so. And they're going to be even better when they get Antonio Brown. But watch out for the Saints team. Like, if they can ever get the secondary figured out, which I guess I do have some questions about. I don't know what is going on with the safety play in Louisiana this year. I tweeted this yesterday. I mean, everybody just looks so lost. It doesn't matter if you're LSU, the Saints. The amount of cheap deep balls that you're allowing are absurd. But if you can fix that, which you would think you should be able to, given that it's more mental than anything else, and then Mike Thomas returns, and then because of Mike Thomas's absence, you've actually gotten strengthened in a lot of ways, right? Like, Drew Brees has been forced to develop relationships with guys like Marquez Callaway. Alvin Kamara has been forced to prove that if he needs to, he can be the guy. Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara and the coaches have been forced to learn how to use that combination much more effectively. So really the absence of Thomas forced you to improve in a lot of ways. And then when he returns, yeah, the Saints could still be the best team in the NFC. I'm not saying they will be. I'm not saying it's most likely because, I mean, the Bucs front seven just looks unparalleled and their defense looks incredible and their Tom Brady's in the zone. And so I'm fine. You want to say the Bucs are best on this Sunday, that's fine. But also don't count. I know a lot of people have kind of
written off the Saints in terms of being the best in the NFL, but the growth that I've seen from that team over the last 2 weeks makes me think that that's a more realistic possibility than I would have considered just a little while ago. So great weekend of football. Shout out Saints, shout out Tigers. All right, we're going to break a little early here because I think the next segment is going to be pretty long. It is going to be T-Bob's Game Notes. As I said, I was watching that film for 4 hours last night. I got about 9 pages of stuff to get to, and we will break it all down. So you want a full, comprehensive, in-depth review of what you witnessed on Saturday? Stick around here on OTBOT.
OTBOT. We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. WCK is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating. We were mending fences, feeding neighbors, and holding our kids. When morning came to Louisiana, we were wide awake, planting seeds for next year's crops. We were stronger, ready for what's next. And together, as we build anew, Blue Cross stands ready to support you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary...
Hi, this is Charles Hannigrove. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, welcome back. OTB OT, T-Bob, Musso, and Danny hanging out with you right now, and it is time for our T-Bob Game Notes segment. So welcome in. If you're watching this on demand in YouTube in the future, how are you? I hope the future's cool. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. First off, can we get a little, do we do bad music for this? I can't remember. No bad music? All right, cool. Okay, off the bat, this is kind of how this is structured. I got my general thoughts, which are not many. Then I move into offense, then I move into defense, and we'll just see where it goes. As I said, I watched a lot of film last night. This is my almost like a stream of consciousness breakdown of what I was witnessing. First, off the bat, one of the keys to why LSU won that game 52-24, LSU was much better both offensively and defensively on third down. Now, I charted every third down. That's not worth reading right now. I'm still trying to figure out how we can maybe do some video on it. But the bottom line is that LSU offensively goes 8 of 10 on third down. Defensively, South Carolina goes just 3 of 10. So that is, that's winning football right there. Next, the general thoughts category. This game was the tale of Beej and Teej, the teen terrors. As we said earlier, it was a night in which the young guys shine. I love how Brody Miller positioned it, calling it a trust the process game. When you look at Ricks, you look at TJ Finley, you look at BJ Ojulari. I know I'm leaving some of the young guys out. I mean, Keisha Butte had a nice play. Coy Moore had a couple nice ones. It's a team where the future looks incredibly bright. And then let's go ahead and dive into the offense, because they certainly proved something on Saturday. They proved their success goes beyond just one or two guys. They are going to be great for years to come. And so when you're talking about offense, I think the first drive is the perfect place to start, because what a tone setter that first drive was, and what an accomplishment that was. I mean, Will Muschamp is a defensive coach. South Carolina was a pretty good defense, and yet here you come out with a true freshman quarterback, a ton of pressure on you, everything working against you, right? Everybody's basically given up on you this season. And you go out there and you go 16 plays, 75 yards, and take out half of the first quarter. I thought that it was perfectly called by Ensminger and perfectly executed by the players. The run-pass split was great. A lot of excellent first down runs to set you up in second and manageable, third and manageable. The RPO game, the mixes of runs and then RPOs that you were running, and Finley's ability to read them. He's obviously very comfortable running RPOs, and he was spectacular on that first drive. And then what more can you say about TJ Finley's confidence? And really that's been a theme of today's show, and rightfully so, because it is shocking how comfortable an 18-year-old looked on that field in that situation. Remember, this is just the 8th time in LSU history in which they started a true freshman at quarterback. And what I loved is that South Carolina, they tested the freshman a few ways, and he passed every test. Like, first off, when LSU comes out running the ball, well, then they're like, okay, we're going to start adding people to the box. See if Finley can make these throws. Well, sure enough, when they started adding people to the box, he punished them. He made the throws. I want to highlight that that 4th and 1 that we touched on that first drive. The main thing is he got the first down. He's a big body. His QB sneak game is pretty effective. You saw it a couple of times this game. What I love, though, is on that 4th and 1, after he gets it, he gets driven back by 5 South Carolina defenders. He gets spiked into the ground, a little extracurricular activity from the defense. What does he do? He doesn't shy away from it. He gets back up, gets in their face. He basically punks one dude for being half of his side, kind of like gives him like a little handwave, like, get out of here, little boy. And then when he looks to the sideline to get the call, he straight up hits the coaches with a flex. I mean, think about that. This is a cat on his first ever college drive in an SEC game, in a must-win type of game. Remember, that's how we were positioning it, and that's the type of confidence he comes out with. And I love that it ended with him scoring the touchdown. It was very appropriate. He also proved a few things on that drive, and he would throughout the game. He's willing to stand in there and take a hit to deliver the throw. I look at the first touchdown to Terrace Marshall on that wheel route where Ed Ingram actually gets beat badly on his single block. Finley stands tall, know he's going to get hit, and he delivers a perfect pass. And what's nice about that one, throughout the night, we saw the arm strength of TJ Finley on display. And he has ropes. I mean, he was just firing rockets at some point, but there was a beautiful touch on that first touchdown throw to Terrace Marshall. I thought that TJ Finley's a pretty solid runner. His size gives a ton of momentum. They ran a couple quarterback powers that had not been in the playbook before now. Ensminger, again, continued to adjust to what his personnel can do. I also like that for getting a young quarterback in a bit of a rhythm, getting him a hit a little bit, kind of waking him up. Just get him into the flow of the game. And then what more can you say about Finley's not just confidence, but even his confidence? It's easy to be confident when you're kicking ass. His confidence to overcome mistakes. I love the way that he bounced back after throwing the pick. Whether it was him on the receiver, he didn't let it faze him. And it also happened to him when he was in the zone. On that drive, he was just killing it, driving him right down the field. And a lot of times that can throw you off. He came right back and remained in that zone. And quarterbacks and cornerbacks especially got to have that short-term memory, and it looks like he has that. So shout out to TJ Finley. And the receiver group, Jeray Jenkins continues to be a pleasant surprise. I think PFF College had him as one of the top-graded receivers in the entire country. Just another solid performance by Jeray. I love the play where him and Finley hook up, where he has to fight back to the ball. Finley rolls out, extends the play, and lays it out there. And some may say, oh, that was a bad decision. I don't think it's a bad decision. It's a decision where you have to trust your wide receiver. And we'll talk about trust between teammates because it's going to be a common theme in this breakdown. But he trusted Jeray to come back to the ball. Sure enough, he did, and they got the big first down on 2nd and 13. Okay, so let's talk about Eric Gilbert. So first off, he's a great receiver. We all know that, right? But he can block. He's a little raw, but he's super willing, and he's a big body dude. He had some excellent blocks in the running game. If LSU is going to become a consistent running team, you're going to need the same sort of contributions out of him in that position that you got out of Thad Moss last year, and he's gotten better week to week in that regard. So, yes, he's a threat. His receiving ability speaks for themselves. But next time you're watching Eric, look at his blocking ability on those zones and on those leads. Again, I hope to highlight some of it in a video form. Kayshon Boutte really clean on that tunnel screen. Second week in a row, we've seen him do a really nice job there. Especially impressive because the corner actually jumped off sides and that play jammed Boutte before the play even started. And then again, it was a great block by Eric to actually spring that. You saw Cole Taylor enter the game at the end. He didn't do much. We'll get to some of the other young guys that entered the offensive line, but looking like a string beat out there. And then a nice job by Coy Moore. Were those Coy Moore's first 2 catches of his career on Saturday? Did he have some earlier this season? I was trying to remember, but either way, the depth of the receiver crew once again on display. And as we're celebrating TJ Finley and the offense and the coaching staff, how about spreading out to 6 different receivers in your first college start? That's pretty damn good as well. Now, we could have started here, and maybe it's where we should have, but the LSU offensive line was truly dominant on Saturday. And like in the most literal use of dominant. That is one of the reasons why everything worked so well, why everything felt so good. The way that they iced that game, I thought was a thing of brutal beauty. It was like somebody just continuously punching until there was like that scene in Sin City where the Yellow Bastard, there's just nothing left to punch after a while. Chasen Hines impressed me. He's starting to show improvement. Ed Ingram, obviously, I mean, he's just so powerful, so fast. Some of the pancakes he's putting on tape when he's pulling around are absolutely ridiculous. His absence was sorely felt. His return was sorely needed. I like what I'm seeing out of Liam Shanahan. Okay, now he's going to struggle with the elite of the elite. He's not the most physical center I've ever seen, but he is a tireless worker. He is the king of what I would call the high motor pancake, where you may get knocked off a little bit off the bat, or you're not getting a lot of push, but through just pure effort, You stay on them, stay square, keep driving, and then when they try to get off the block, you stay on it, you drive into the ground, you get a pancake. That is the blue-collar lunch pail of pancakes. He had 3 on the first drive alone. Deculus, look, the edges were really solid. South Carolina thought they could rush 4 and drop 7 the entire game, and they thought they could still get home, and they didn't at all. The O-line shut it down. And anytime you're talking about being a 4-man rush, who are the people that a lot of the time are going to be asked to go one-on-one? It's the tackles. So shout out to Cam Wire and Austin Deculus doing a great job there as well. The one thing I would say is stop leaving the O-line in when you take the quarterback out. I hate that, especially when you have this O-line and you just do not have a lot of depth. Now, eventually in the middle of the drive, they ended up subbing everyone out, but it just took a minute. With the potential departure of Dare Rosal, I don't know what the story is there. You're pretty thin at a lot of those positions up front now. Just some little housekeeping here, though. When they did sub the O-line, we got to look at maybe where their heads are at in terms of backup. You had a Xavier Hill at left tackle, Marlon Martinez at left guard, Anthony Bradford at right guard, Marcus Dumerville at right tackle. At first, Liam remained in the game. Then Marlon Martinez bumped over to center, and Cardell Thomas got his first action over there at right guard. I would say this. Bradford got blown up one play. He also had another play where he blew somebody up, which was pretty nice. My deal with the young guys is they're all a little too big. They're all a little too big. They're all a little too top heavy. They look very raw. There's some potential there, but it seems like a lot of those guys got to get their weight under control. So it was nice kind of knowing, like this feels like it's probably Dumerville or Hill, who's that backup tackle in case somebody goes down. It's nice knowing that, but it did also reinforce that you really don't want one of these starting O-linemen to go down. All right, final note on the offense. Thoughts going into Auburn and Kevin Steele. South Carolina right now, like I said, they were content to rush 4, drop into coverage. Finley passed that test with flying colors. He picked them apart. I wonder if Auburn tries to bring more pressure, right? And we all respect Kevin Steele as a defensive coordinator. I wonder what he has cooked up to try to get to Finley next week. Again, I'm assuming that Finley will start. We'll see where the week takes us. Okay, let's move on to the defense. And let's start again with the first drive. Because the same way that the first drive for offense was perfection, the first defensive drive was the literal inverse. It was horrible. And it speaks to a lot of the problems that are still plaguing this LSU defense. And although the performance was better overall, the first drive was terrible. Damone Clark just does not look like he's comfortable with the middle linebacker position right now. He fills the wrong gaps. He takes bad angles. It's not all on him. It doesn't seem to be a lot of trust between the defensive line and the linebackers. Again, this is a defense that is still just looks like they're trying to learn how you find success in a gap scheme. I think that Clark still catches runners too much instead of initiating contact and catches blockers. And really the final straw was a late in the game 3rd and 5 where he took a bad angle on a swing pass. They get the first down, 15-yard gain. Next thing you know, Baskerville's in on the next play and actually made a nice aggressive TFL in coverage on the next play. So I would not be surprised at all if Micah Baskerville would get the start in this next game, even though he too is not perfect. I think you just have to at this point. Damone Clark's just really in a funk right now. And what it meant is that South Carolina, after you go 16 plays, 75 yards, half the quarter, South Carolina gets the same amount of points for nothing. 3 plays, 75 yards, 54 seconds. One of the common mistakes that this defense was making throughout the game, I mentioned you need to learn how to find success in a gap scheme. This defense needs to learn who has contain, and damn it, that person needs to contain. You have to set the edge. The amount of time that LSU gets sucked into the wash only for the play to be bounced for a huge game is absurd. Ali Gay was a repeat offender this game. He has to be better in the run game about setting that edge. He keeps diving inside, trying to make the play and then setting up these opportunities to bounce on the outside. And that brings me to my main point, where there is a general lack of trust among teammates in this gap scheme. Guys are all trying to get to the ball and make the play themselves instead of holding down their part of the line and forcing the play into their teammates' gaps. This defense, a gap scheme defense, will never work if you don't trust the man beside you. You have to do your job, and you have to trust that the other guy will do his as well, and I just don't see that right now. And so if you're on the edge and you think you can get inside to make the tackle, you don't get to. You have to hold the edge and trust that the linebacker is going to be there. And right now, linebacker passivity may be one of the biggest problems with this defense. They're catching. They must start dictating. Again, look at how Devin White plays the position. That said, Jabril Cox, still not perfect. I thought Cox made some plays. Maybe playing a bit better than one would think given the defensive struggles this year. There's still entirely too much confusion in the defensive backfield, too many busted plays. There are even a couple times where, now there were a couple coverage sacks, which was nice to see, but there were also some times where the sacks bailed you out of you getting burned and having free runners through your secondary. The rush defense doesn't look very good on first glance, but if you take out that first drive where I think all those rushing yards were like 72 yards, then that average drops from about 5 yards to 3 yards, and it looks a lot better. Let's get to the sacks because I thought those were really nice. Oh, wait, here we go. Where's my? Or we'll get there in a little bit. Eli Ricks just has it. That's next on the list. He'll continue to have his opportunities as people have to ignore Stingley. Third pick in 4 games already. Hits him with the deuces on the way to the end zone. Then the Michael Jackson leg kick to celebrate. Great job by him jamming on the line, disrupting the route. And then he has ball skills and he has instincts. And sometimes that can get it burned like in Mississippi State, but in this case, it paid huge dividends. I think the interior of the defensive line is lacking impact, although Joseph Evans flashed a couple of times but needs more consistency. Puaika, too, flashed a couple of times but needs more consistency. Still way too many big plays allowed. And again, the same way I hated how they opened up the game. I hated how the defense opened up the second half. Right? I mean, you have a chance here. You have South Carolina dead to rights. You have a chance to just go ahead, 3 and out, nail in the coffin. Instead, South Carolina marches right down the field. They score a touchdown. They give themselves hope. Now, got to love the response by Trey Palmer to give the first kick return for a touchdown. And Tiger saves 81. And Trey Palmer is fast. I mean, those South Carolina guys took some good angles, and it did not matter. But the defense has to be better situationally beginning of the game, opening of the second half. So there was a lot of negativity on the defense, but if there was one positive, it was the pass rush, led by B.J. Ojulari. The first sack, I think, is worth highlighting because there were a lot of nice elements, and it's actually a credit to Bo Pelini. It was 3rd and long. Bo Pelini called a nice little game on the edge with the tackle in the defensive end. It was Ray Thornton who was coming around the edge, and South Carolina tried to run a screen pass, but Thornton come around his game, disrupts the running back, recognizes screen, stay in coverage, and it allows B.J. Ojulari to get home. So a nice call there by Pelini that perfectly countered what South Carolina wanted to do on 3rd down. Maybe one of the coolest B.J. Ojulari highlights, and Andre Anthony also had a great sack, but go and watch his last sack, the 3rd one, where he basically Euro steps the chip blocker and then still managed to redirect, bend the hoop, get his head down, get low, and find a way to get to the quarterback. Ojulari is only a true freshman. The potential of this guy is fantastic. Now, let's talk about kind of the defense as a whole, all right, where you go from here. Because I was feeling pretty hopeless after the first couple of performances that we had seen. The confusion that I witnessed against Missouri was unlike anything I had ever seen, and you saw what it led to. If we're talking about improvement, this game, that confusion was out of there. They definitely simplified responsibilities in the exact way that they said they would. Now, there were still a few busts in the secondary, but they were way less busts. Now, I'm taking a lot of the pressure off of Bo Pelini, though, I mean, you still hope that he continues to improve and can find a way to connect with these guys better and make them understand their responsibilities better. But now I think you got to put more pressure on the players to show up and get it done. Because it's not hard to know if you have contain. And a lot of times these guys know they have contain. You can tell by how they start the play, but then they're not trusting their technique or their teammates, and they're losing contain. These are basic problems, which is a red flag in and of itself, but that also means that they're fixable problems. And I think that's what gives me a bit of hope going forward. I don't think this defense will be great, but you can be average. You can maybe even be good when you look at the talent you got in some key areas, but a lot of that is going to depend on Baskerville or Damone Clark, whoever that guy is, eventually getting it right, and then teammates learning to trust each other. If you can do that, then we'll see where this defense can go. Again, Auburn, Tank Bigsby looks like an absolute beast. And Seth Williams is a very good receiver. I don't view Auburn as a particularly overwhelming offense. I think the defense should have success once again, and I want to see, can they fix these specific problems that we're talking about now? Can you set the edge? Can you contain? Can you trust one another? But overall, the big takeaway from this, offensively, spectacular. Celebrate him. You can now build and develop consistent, great quarterback play. And defensively, look, you stabilized, okay? You showed a lot of the improvement in the areas that we wanted. The question now is, how good can you be? We've seen that you can be average. Can you actually turn the corner and start to get good? I'm still unsure. I still don't feel great about them going against the good offenses left on this schedule, but I do have more hope than I did previously. Great passing grade, though, for LSU as they dominate South Carolina 52-24 and get some momentum going to this Auburn game where now you could be going into Bama at 3-2, feeling a lot better about yourself and kind of save the season in a way on Saturday. So nice job by the Tigers. Oh, also LSU now 12-0 in the Orgeron era following a loss. All right, when we get back, break down more of the football weekend, a little less specifically here on OTBOT.
OTBOT.
We're talking a lot of football this hour, and I tell you every day in this time, but headquarters for football is Hooters. And so, look, if you can get into Hooters, space is limited during the pandemic, but they are open. If you can get in, they still got all the wings, beers, the sports, all the televisions, the Hooters girls, like everything you love so much. But if you can't, it doesn't mean that you can't bring Hooters to you. That's right. Download the Hooters application for your phone. You download the Hooters app, you get a free appetizer. That's right. You get a free appetizer when you download the app. That's just one of the many food and drink deals that you can get by downloading said app. You can also order right there from the app, and the wings come to you. That's right, wings to fly. You can also go to HootersToGo.com, and the bottom line is a lot of times you're going to be watching the game at home this year. You're going to be having friends over. Don't worry about cooking. Don't worry about doing dishes. Let Hooters take care of all of that for you by downloading the app and ordering Hooters to go. Get those wings to fly, and you're eating those delicious wings tossed in the classic sauce. Go to Hooters.com today.
Football is back. Tune in tonight as we wrap up a full weekend of NFL coverage. It's Monday Night Football as the Los Angeles Rams host the Chicago Bears. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motors you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hi, this is Charles Hannegriff. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back. OTBOT. Chill out, Moose. Let it breathe a little bit. This guy's tinkling the ivories, dude. You hear this? Come on now.
And the unlicensed piano music.
Yeah, look. Unlicensed doesn't always equal bad. Just some of the time. A lot of the time. What do you point at, Danny?
Wait, what?
I don't know. You keep pointing at me. What are you trying to say? Y'all are talking about Thanksgiving po' boys?
I don't know.
In the chat?
Todd
What's going on
Jones
here?
Brought that up. That sounds awful.
You ever? No, it's awesome. You ever had a Parkway Thanksgiving po' boy?
I've never heard of it.
It's only during, it might be only during November. I can't remember when exactly they do it. No, it's not year round.
Not regular. Yeah.
But it is like turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, all right there on the po' boy.
That sounds amazing. I mean,
it's really
Thanksgiving
good.
leftover sandwiches they're just fantastic.
Yeah. They are. Which is why I will never understand this to this day. It is so unlike him. I think he just got caught in a cleaning zone and lost himself for a second, proving that even the saltiest of vets can be open to mental errors. But my father-in-law, who I love and respect very much as a man, 2 years ago threw away all the leftover turkey before me and my wife could take it home with us after we did Thanksgiving in New Orleans. I was mind blown. I was completely mind blown. I had my heart set on turkey gumbo.
Oh, that's what it always turns into.
I had my heart set on turkey sandwiches, turkey po' boys, and then I felt like I had been violated, quite honestly. But like I said, I do not want to cast aspersions upon my father-in-law. That is completely unlike him. He's an excellent cook in his own right. He's a whiskey drinker, cigar smoker, and he's a good man, and we get along very well. Todd Jones in the line wraps around the block for the Thanksgiving po' boy. I agree. Bearded Dragon asks who transfers, Max Johnson or Miles Brennan. And I'm guessing that question is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but let's go ahead and address that because we've kind of shunted it to the side. I don't want to. So the weird part about this conversation is you're going to have to be forced to be sounding negative about guys that have done nothing but good things, right? And so let's just preface it with that. But first off, on TJ Finley, he was excellent. Okay, he was excellent. He also dealt with no pressure almost the entire night. He had a great running game to set him up with excellent first down plays. Great running game that makes the RPOs hit better. Special teams touchdown, defensive touchdown. Like the whole team was excellent on Saturday. One of the comments I wanted to get to here. Sean S. says, I know it's only one game, but the offense looked much more efficient with Finley versus Miles. I think it's his threat to run and the RPO helps create, well, again, that's a misuse of RPO. Whatever. His threat to run like zone read helps create more versatility to the offense. Look, yes, his size running the ball is an added element, but if we're talking about why the offense looks more efficient on Saturday, it wasn't Finley. It was the offensive line. They dominated. They kicked ass. If you can run the ball for 8 yards a pop or whatever it was by game's end, like that's where that efficiency is going to come from. So, again, I don't want to take anything away from Finley because I came away from that film. I'm texting people. I had goosebumps. I was mind blown by how good and comfortable he was at that age. I cannot fathom being in that same situation and rising to the occasion in the manner that he did. But I do want to look at Miles' numbers. And then I want to think, okay, what would those numbers have been if you'd had that run support, if you'd had that protection, if you'd had that contribution from the defense? If you did, you would still be undefeated right now. And Miles' numbers might be even better. So I don't believe, I'm kind of with O right now, I do not believe there is a quarterback controversy. I think for now, Miles is still your starting quarterback if healthy. Now, I do think that you don't feel like you have to rush him back as quickly, right? You can allow him more time to develop, and you're going to feel pretty comfortable running Finley out there next week. But that's the other part, too. Miles did over a 3-game period. We have 1 game in Finley right now, so we still are working off a small sample size. So let's celebrate that sample size. But let's also recognize that, next week's going to be a big test. Against that Auburn team, you got Big Cat Bryan still over there. Kevin Steele's a very good defensive coordinator. As I said, South Carolina didn't seem to want to blitz him. Kevin Steele, look what Kevin Steele did last year against Joe Burrow. He straight up came up with a defense that he had never run before. I wonder what he'll have in store to try to get to the freshman quarterback this year. We will see. And as far as Max Johnson goes, that transfer talk is unbelievably premature there as well. Fortunes can change very fast in football. And what happens if Finley comes out and struggles next week? And what, is everybody still going to say he's a starter? It's nobody in that quarterback room should be panicking. They should all be celebrating one another for doing their job, helping the team win, and celebrating the fact that they are at a school that now can recruit and develop and coach consistent, great quarterback play. Todd Jones saying Finley may be a little more anxious with that first away game next week. Yeah, look, just another test. Even though after seeing how composed he was on Saturday, I don't know that $25K in Jordan Hare is going to rattle him. Todd also asked, what's the deal with the penalties lining up in the line of scrimmage? Who screwed that up? The formational penalties were odd. I think the temptation would be like, a young quarterback running the huddle. That's what it was. That's not the case on some of them. Now, there was one where everybody didn't get set that you can put on the quarterback because he sped. You got to make sure everybody's set before you call for the snap. Those were a mixture of mental errors on Gilbert sometimes, being too close to the line. And honestly, and you heard Orlovsky talk about this in the broadcast, I think the ref was a little strict with Gilbert at one time. But yeah, we didn't mention the penalties. Too many penalties for LSU this game. They hit double digits. The reason why I'm not belaboring that point, though, is because that's the exception rather than the rule. They've been excellent in the penalty department thus far this season. So I guess my overall message would be, before we try to crown guys, before we try to drum up quarterback controversies, before we try to force guys into transferring, let's first off enjoy the moment, what you witnessed, and how far you've come with quarterback play at LSU. And let's also let this all breathe for a little bit. Let's let this play out on the field and let the guys tell their story. Sure, if Finley just keeps playing unbelievable and the team keeps rolling and they win a couple of these big games, and then you don't need to make a change. And then you cross that bridge when you get there. There's no need to artificially build that bridge before the appropriate time. So fantastic job by Miles' first 3 game. Fantastic job by TJ Finley. And you saw some of that athleticism from Max Johnson. I don't care they didn't let him throw the ball, but you saw why he's viewed as the best runner of the 3. He had that nice pull where he had the spin move. The one thing Max Johnson screwed up is when he got in there, when Finley lost his helmet, he could have scored if he would have pulled the ball. And that would have been great. You come in because the other guy loses the helmet, and then you snake the touchdown on his 16-play drive. But it's probably, I guess, better that Finley got in there. But yeah, a fantastic performance from LSU's offense. Fantastic special teams. Cade York, kick return for touchdown, and then better defense. Still got a long way to go defensively, but it got better. I'm really intrigued to start to break down this week how I think they're going to stop Tank Bigsby and Seth Williams. Obviously, I like Seth Williams because just Derek Stingley and Eli Ricks. I'll take that. But yeah, Tank Bigsby looks like he could be a problem when you look at how LSU struggled with running backs thus far this season. All right, when we get back here on OTBOT, we will wrap up this Monday show. Huge shout out to everybody hanging out with us. I'll tell you my favorite post-game celebrations of the weekend. Y'all have a great day. Or don't stick around for one more segment. Chill. And we'll be back in a couple minutes.
OTBOT. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I can't tell you how many people tried to discourage me when I said, I'm opening up a haunted house. If you love doing something, don't let anything or anyone stand in your way.
How he comes up with this stuff in his head and designs it is mind-boggling.
Debbie and Home Bank understand my business and understand that it's not normal. They've worked with me since the beginning to help my business grow.
Foundation failure is common in South Louisiana, and that's why homeowners here turn to a local company they can trust, WCK Foundation Repair.
WCK is the only company that specializes in drilled piers, the ideal solution for Louisiana's unique soil conditions. WCK is locally owned and operated by a group of professionals with years of experience.
Learn more about the signs of foundation failure on WCKFoundationRepair.com. Call for a free estimate. WCK Foundation Repair. Support the home team.
During times of trouble, hope keeps us calm, and courage keeps us strong. Here in Louisiana, we know this better than most. After all, we've faced hardship, but hurricanes and floods never washed away what makes us strong. It's our culture, the spirit of resilience that says rise and rise up again.
Hi, this is Charles Hannegriff. Join me and Jacob Hester for the next edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with T-Bob Hebert, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Welcome back, OTB OT. Wrapping up the show here. I'm going to get some of the questions y'all were asking in the 104.5 ESPN YouTube chat. Brought to you by U4. Adam Pitty says, how would you react to the South Carolina lineman jumping the snap 2 times in a row? That pissed me off so bad. I mean, it's actually good strategy on this point because, like, what's half the distance to the goal when it's 6 inches? It's literally 3 inches, so it doesn't mean anything. but like it just makes me, it would make me so infuriated as a sinner because it looks like you fumble the snap, like it gives him some sort of fake momentum when really it's just super illegal. You can't just run, you can't just dive at a sinner before the ball even moves. That's not a play. That's not how football works at all. And so, yeah, I would have been furious at him, and there would have been some street justice taking place. AMAC, I think, is who asked us, says, I think they abandoned the run too often with Miles. The play calling not as consistent as it was on Saturday. It's not about, I'm going to defend the play callers here, because the difference Saturday was that the O-line was kicking ass. The reason why you abandoned the run so much against Mizzou is because you were getting your ass kicked. Also, we've been kind of talking about Mizzou might have a good D-line. They might have a good D-line. I'm going to start diving into some numbers on Mizzou, but they look good against Kentucky, and they looked good against LSU. And remember, LSU saw their backups, not even all their full-strength defensive line. Lance Richard says, at T-Bob, do you think Max Johnson being a lefty factored into the decision to start TJ? I don't think so. I think TJ just won the competition. I think it was very close competition. But then that's why we said it matters, right? Although you expected to see both guys, O did say if somebody was hot, they weren't going to take him, and TJ was hot. So that's why it is important to practice and try to win those battles there and then prove it once you get in a game. And that's exactly what TJ Finley did. I mean, it's pretty easy to see why he won the job, right? They told us that the receivers dropped the least amount of balls during camp from Finley, and that during this week of practice, I think he had a slightly better completion percentage. I think he performed slightly better on third down. And, well, lo and behold, LSU goes 8 of 10 on third down. So I don't think lefty had anything to do with it. And then Bearded Dragon says, is Bo Pelini get a reprieve after that better performance? I still have major doubts. I still don't really want to get into long-term future because I still think that's a conversation that needs to happen after the season ends. But it was improvement, right? And so if we criticize when criticism is due, if we're going to be fully objective and be able to trust our opinions and what we think, then we have to give credit when credit is due. And you saw clear improvement from that defense. But it's still bad. There still seems to be a lack of trust between the players and even between maybe the coach and the players. I don't know that they are fully connecting if we're just like reading body language when they're working on the sideline. That said, it feels way more fixable now than it did not long ago. The one thing, though, that gives me hesitance outside of some of the big plays that are still just way too many of them is that, as we said going into the game, I think that South Carolina was a really good matchup for them in terms of being a more old school type of offense that Pelini would be more comfortable in defending. I wonder what happens when he runs into the better offenses on this schedule. I still don't think it's going to be good, but a stabilized performance from LSU. And who knows, maybe Baskerville can have a big impact and make that switch, or maybe Damone can kind of get out of this funk and show why he thought the coaches, why the coaches believe that he had earned that number 18. These problems are fixable. A lot of them are. The ones that lead to the big plays. It's not hard to keep contained if that's your responsibility. Let's see if they can go out and do it, because you better keep contained with Tank. With you fading off with Tank Bisbee, because that dude is, he's a beast. He looks really good on Saturday. But I don't know Auburn's that good. All right, there's your Monday show, OTBOT. Keep it locked on 104.5 ESPN all day long. Huge thank you to Matthew Musso, Danny Cardenas. Huge thank you to everyone who gets involved in the show and the chat, helps spread the good word. Y'all are the best. That's why any of this works, is because of y'all. So thank you, and we will see you tomorrow. You can hear from Coach O and everybody else for our wonderful Tuesday show. Subscribe to Off the Bench and subscribe to Off the Bench Overtime on
OTB,
YouTube. OT. When morning came to Louisiana, we were hopeful, not hibernating.